Your eyes been twitching all day?
Yeah.
That's the first thing they had.
Yeah.
I have a different glamorous assistant tonight. Joe's voice has changed.
Yeah, with my twitchy eye.
Twitchy eye. We did the Liam and Joe show earlier, and I told you we'd have a live game of 40k tonight at 7:30, which is now Sisters versus Guard. And then I was sat there working away, work like this, and then the internet went off. And my phone was like, "You're not connected to the internet right now. Keep trying or use mobile signal." And it stayed off for like half an hour. Then it came back on again. Then it went off again. Then it came back on again. Then it went off again. Then it came back on again. I was like, I don't like this very much.
It's a bit unpredictable.
So I had a chat with Joe, who had already proclaimed during the Liam and Joe show that he was a bit tired. I had a chat with him and I was like, I don't like the concept because it kept going off on and it was off for quite a while, that it come back on for a bit, go off. So I feel like there's an issue or an error or a fault somewhere. We do have a 48-hour service level agreement as part of our business internet contract. And so I've raised a ticket. It will be sorted by Tuesday, but the studio internet wasn't playing the game tonight. So it got to a point where I was like, we need to make a call. We either ride this out and see if the internet's working or not, or I pull the plug. Joe gets to go home and have an early night, which he deserves. We like Joe. He gets to go home and have an early night, or and I can come home in time to schedule a stream and what have you and get the camera set up and do an evening stream. And we went with that one. So you guys at least had some content. We will still do Sisters Guard. I promise you we will still do Sisters Guard. It will just be on Tuesday instead of tonight. Okay? And then and you guys can help with the working internet fund. 40 hours, yeah. 40 hours isn't the best, but meh. It's one of the best I can get. Also, that being said, I had a message from Joe. Literally 5 minutes ago. That said, I have had too much cheese in 24 hours. Only just made it home in time for a shirt-off poo.
A shirt-off
Yeah, you know
poo?
when you get sweaty?
No.
Yeah. And then I said, oh, wow, shirt off. Hang on, didn't you poo before you left? He said, I did. If I hadn't, it would have been a hedge poo for definite.
For the second time this
year.
year.
So I feel like we've done Joe a favour as well by not playing the game tonight, okay?
Oh, his stomach's really not happy at the moment.
Virgin texted and emailed me to say our internet connection was down. No, it wasn't. we've had some internet issues today, okay? And I say we have over in the studio in central Southampton. So I wanted to put some content out. So instead of being in the studio, we've come home to the office to give you another stream. The difference this time round is I don't have a topic. I don't have anything to talk about. In fact, there's loads to talk about. But I thought that for once the topics could be kind of guided by you. It's not. I don't want to use the cheesy, fucking horrible content creator. Ask me anything, because that's shit. And actually, you can't ask me anything. There's some things I just won't answer. So that's kind of a bit disingenuous as well. When they're like, ask me anything. I don't think you really want me to ask you anything. So I figured we just have a stream that was led by you people. Ask away. You can use postcards. You can use chat. Whatever you want. Film and battle report for iOS. What now? No, I'm at home now, Drew. And we don't do. When have we done filming anyway? Come on, we're live channel. Think about it. He's being healthy and his body's rejecting it. I think he's teetering between healthy and unhealthy, Carl, right now.
I think I'd cry a little bit if my body started rejecting cheese.
I don't think he's gone full in on the healthy.
Okay.
I think he's like half, right? Should Tyranids have testicles? They don't need to. Why do they need to, Escape? They just grow new ones. A real power shit when you've got to take the shirt off. Exactly, yeah. What war games do you play that is not GW? None. None at all, Leon. I have played in the past. I have played what the fuck was it called? Firestorm Armada. Played that before that died. I have bought Star Wars Legion, Star Wars Shatterpoint, some Fallout stuff. Not played any of them. That's about it, really.
Are you trying to break the internet in here as well?
No. Night off.
Other people need the internet, Liam.
Think of the night off, though. Actually, it wouldn't be a night off if I broke the internet, because then the kids would be wanting entertaining.
Finally, now's my chance. What's your favourite colour?
Red.
Yeah. Christmas red or just red?
Just red.
Oh, it used to be Christmas red.
No, it's just always been red.
No. I remember it was Christmas red because we had a whole discussion about, well, what's Christmas red? And you went, it's the Coca-Cola advert red, it's Santa red.
Yeah, that
it's
wasn't
Christmas
that
red.
wasn't about me being my favourite red. Can they be quiet? Because I'm about to fucking start shouting over them.
What, the children laughing and playing?
Yeah, can you go in there and drop kick the pair of them, please?
You're not normally here, so shush.
Or shut the doors. I don't mind. Let them be noisy, but shut the doors. I can't let myself think 3 rooms away. How long have I been growing my beard? It's not really a true question because I've trimmed it back a load of times. I started probably about a year and a half, 2 years after I left the army, so probably 2016. At one point in that time, I think I've completely shaved it all off and then grown it back again. Isn't that just Coca-Cola? Yeah, it's the same thing. Healthiness is killing him, yeah, absolutely. Liam needs new internet. I don't need new internet. My internet's great. I have 900 and something meg down, 900 and something meg up. It's incredible. My internet's really, really good. We've had one issue that was fixed before stream before. This is the first time we've had any problems. And my ISP is installing a ton of stuff in the local area. So one hiccup, I'll let them have that one. They've been very, very good for an incredibly reasonable price. Red does go faster, I approve. Red does go faster, that's a fact, yeah. Red's my favourite. Red's my favourite colour. Was this when you picked the red? You were picking the red dice and stream? That's where it's from, Carl. Yeah, it's not my favourite, but that's where she's remembering it from. It wasn't about which one I prefer. I just like red. That was about which one we were picking for the red dice. Looking forward to Space Marine 2. Not in the slightest. I'm a video game fan. I don't like Space Marine video games. Terrifying when you shave that beard off and all you see is yourself beardless in the mirror, isn't it? It looks weird. I don't look right without a beard anymore.
Right, I've orphaned off the children because you don't like children's lovely, fulfilling laughter.
Oh, I look like Ed out of Ed, Ed and Eddie when I shave it. It's weird.
Did you used to watch that? Ed,
Ed and Eddie, yeah. So we've discussed the red. Christmas red isn't my favourite. It's not my favourite. No, it's where you're remembering it from is when we were picking the colour of red for dice. And I picked Christmas red, which is the same as Coca-Cola red.
And Santa red.
It's not because it's my favourite, it's because that's the one I wanted on the dice. Just red is my favourite, just red. Chat have confirmed. You should try some of the games, though. Careful, you may start disliking GW's bad rules as much as I do. No, there's no point. I don't want to play other games other than 40k and AOS, to be fair. Not really. Christmas red is a girl's colour, red is a man's colour. Men will get this. Sam knows. Sam knows. We definitely had a whole stream about what red you liked. It was for the dice, though, 40k medic. Exactly. Exactly that one. Have you looked at all the faction previews for AOS? I haven't read all the previews. I do already have all the rules, so I can't answer currently any of the questions. A mate of mine used some spare wood elf pieces, no legs, to make archers hiding in bushes. We decided bush elves wear bushes due to miscasting trim pubic hair on self. Good, I like it. Leon, heresy is a better game than 40k. I mean, you do tell me this every single stream you come in, and I've ignored you so far. So it's probably worth getting the message that we're not going to play heresy. And if we do, it'll be like a one-off. It won't be regular content because there's about 3 heresy fans in the world that like watching content, so it's not worth it for us. And better is also subjective when it comes to games and rules. Very subjective. I'm sure there'll be people in chat that will say that actually 40k 10th edition is better than heresy. And they're not wrong. It's opinionated. What factions in AOS are you currently collecting to be able to play on stream? I have access to, for me to play, in Spearhead form, Stormcast Eternals, Sylvaneth, Fire Slayers, and I've just started building the Cruel Boys. The boys who are cruel. Well, I think there's another one I have as well, but I can't remember. Oh, I've got Caradron Overlords and Sons of Bahamut. Pete, thank you for the 5 gifted. It started. What should I have for dinner tonight for takeaway? If you give me an open-ended question like that, Lehman, with no options, then the answer is Chinese. Always. Always. Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl will happen. We're interested in Blood Bowl. Yeah, if you give me an option, if Lou says to me, if Lou ever looks at me and says, what takeaway should we have? Which now, thankfully, is actually a rare occurrence. Because we were really bad for a while.
Yeah.
Literally, I think one of us was just waiting for the other one to be like, takeaway? 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 Yeah, I'll put this beef mince back in the fridge. Takeaway? It happened low. It used to happen quite a lot. But now, if we do ask that question, incredibly rarely, if it's an open-ended question, I give one answer. Chinese. Every time. In AOS 4th, lookouts are more like 40k, more on lookouts or what actual base-to-base lookout. Line of sight? I don't know. I like Chinese. Just had homemade Chinese. How was that, Carl? Luce makes homemade sweet and sour now.
Yeah.
It's very yummy.
And homemade pizza. Because I kept on getting annoyed at Domino's. I tried to do the 2 for Tuesday because it's expensive as pizza goes. Domino's is wildly expensive, but the boys like it and they're good boys. And then I just kept on getting really fucked off with every time it delivered, there'd be something missing from my order. Just the basic.
Also, I would like to know the last person on planet Earth, right, who actually paid full price for Domino's. No one does.
Yeah.
The prices are a lie. Why price them like that?
Yeah.
It's like the new Tesco's is a brand of supermarket, or what would you call them in the US? Hyperstore, megastore,
I think,
grocery store.
So I think Asda is Walmart.
Yeah, so as is Walmart, I think.
So Tesco is just another.
Tesco's owned by another one. I can't remember. Anyway, they're essentially a large grocery store, right? And they have a loyalty card system. And what they did is they put all their prices on their shelf up, and then the loyalty card price, if you had a loyalty card, was like back down to the original price. I was like, that's a fucking cunty way of doing business, isn't it, really? Mordyhammer and Evan Manello, thank you so much for the gifted, you fucking beautiful humans. Up to 7. Up to 7. We're hoping for many targets this week, Luce, because I've decided to just cancel all streams on Thursday.
That's not going to work for me. I'm letting you off tonight because the internet was down.
No, cancel all streams on Thursday.
What, another day off?
Yeah. Think about it.
Why?
What's the date next Thursday?
Oh, I thought you meant forevermore.
No.
That's why I was like, this isn't going to work for me.
No, Jesus Christ, no. That would be fucking professional suicide. This Thursday coming as a one-off, cancelling all streams. So when we started the week, I was like, if we hit members goal on a few nights, we might just about be okay. And we've hit members goal every single stream so far, plus extra. So if we continue to hit members goal, I've said to Joe that I'll cancel all the streams on Thursday and he can come to the barbecue instead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So he's thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's the largest model kit I own? Would you ever buy any of the Titan kits? Yes, I'd buy the Titan kits. I bought, not too long ago, an Elder Revenant Titan. An Eldar Revenant Titan. They're about this big when they're built. Big, I think, something like that. Plastic-wise, it's probably Sarastas Class Knight at the moment. I've dropped my world to go back to Garb, Mr. Tanks, and Krieg due to reading The Siege of Vrax. Books are dangerous. Make you change a lot. As part of Asian, as being part Asian, always make proper Asian food. I don't know what proper Asian food is, though. We have this, like, warped view of what Asian food is in the UK, I think. I have to make a confession to make it look like I was doing something in the office today. I read up about 40k to keep myself looking busy. Can't remember any of it, but it was a start. Cooney's getting hooked. It's a dangerous path, mate. You'll be poor soon if you do go down this route, I'll be honest. What is this, Asda or Walmart? I only know them as Food Library. So yeah, we're actually looking at having a day off on Thursday, chat. I know. I'm not a person who takes actual time off. Even on the stream nights where Joe and Brom and Kyle are streaming, I don't actually take time off. There is one occasion, which was our wedding anniversary. I definitely didn't check in on how they were doing at any point.
No.
I'm really bad at taking time off. But this Thursday is my youngest's 7th birthday, and so I'm on barbecue chef duty, and so I feel like I should probably just take the night off, day off, the whole thing, not go over to work at all.
If this is a discussion whether in this job you've made for yourself you're still wondering about taking one of your son's days off, then I cannot talk to you.
No. I was going to be taking it off anyway,
Right.
but I was going to go over there first thing in the morning to set up all the stream stuff for Joe and Kyle and Brom to stream in the evening. But I'm like, I'd rather they were just here for the barbecue and fuck the stream. And it's not often I ever get to the headspace where I'm like, yeah, fuck the stream altogether. I'm like, it's fine if I'm not there because someone will be streaming or will be putting content out. This is one of those rare occasions where I'm like, no, fuck it. For once. Just this once. Just one, actually. What's that face for?
Just this once. He's going to have a birthday next year.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is I'm not making it a weekly occurrence.
Okay.
Honestly,
I'm not the one that's got my priorities a smidge tilted.
I haven't got my priorities a smidge tilted. It's Chinese American cuisine, not really Chinese food. We have so much more access to meat compared to real homemade Chinese food. It's totally different. I don't really know what real homemade Chinese food is, but I'd be quite interested in giving it a proper go one day. Take the day off. Yeah, no, I am taking the day off. I was going to have to go over there from perhaps an hour in the morning, and I could have tied that in with going to vote at the same time to set the stream up.
Oh, fuck, it's voting day as well.
It is, yeah. Yeah, we have to vote on Thursday.
Okay, are we doing that in the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, the first postcard of the night. Thank you, people. Can't you take a camera for the barbecue and we can all do an eat-along? I don't...
An eat-along?
Right, chat. Let's be real, right? Luce is on the brink of shouting at me over there for fear of the fact that I might not be taking the day off for his birthday. If I then was like, I've got a better idea, Luce, we'll stream it. How do you think that's going to go down? I'd spend 2 weeks being
the steak knife.
I'd spend 2 weeks be talking in a higher pitch. A few more years and he'll be off not wanting you there anyway. Well, that's fine. You can do that when it's ready, innit? When he's ready. Luce swore again. She swears a lot, Steve. Oh, fucking potty mouth.
I've got potty mouth, I'm afraid.
Yeah. You guys have the Giga election. Ugh. I don't want to talk about it, really. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not interested.
I really do hate how any of the politicians on telly, they never answer a fucking question.
Well, this is... I tried the Liam...
Relentless dodgy.
For the B-Day, barbecue, time off, love your stream and show, good sir. Oh, G Hughes is a great sugar-free barbecue sauce brand since you are cutting sugar.
Ooh, I'll have a look at that if we have it over here. I don't know if we do. That'd be nice. I'm already going to be having... So I am really diving into food and diet now as well. It's becoming a mild obsession. I've changed my watch, so I have my fitness rings on my watch now, so I close my rings every day.
Yeah. Now, I feel like I know you a bit by now. I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Why?
Because you're a bit of an obsessive person.
No, not me. No. But this weekend, in seriousness, this weekend, I'm going to have Saturday, Sunday, no gym, no exercise, less concern on my food. Just gonna have a nice weekend off, a few beers. It's gonna be great. And that's like the first.
You might need a shirt off shit if you're gonna have beers after all of this hard work.
It's true. It's true. But I'm really looking forward to having a little bit of a weekend off though. I'm not gonna go mad because I'm focused and dialed in right now. Really into it. But I'm looking forward to relaxing and chilling out and enjoying it for a few days. I haven't had like a weekend off since we started this, which has been good. I was looking at treadmills today on Amazon.
You're so selfish though, because every time that you go to the gym or that you go for a walk, I'm always like, oh, well done, babe, doing your exercises. Selfish prick. Now I have to exercise because if you go and get yourself a six-pack, I have to go and get myself a six-pack. So you're being really quite selfish.
So selfish. So selfish.
So every time you get back and I go, good session. No, you didn't trip and break a leg. Oh.
Hopefully
shame.
your boys will look back in 20 years' time and appreciate how hard you work So taking time off is a time to be treasured. All right, mate. The kids are incredible. They're amazing. And they're very grateful despite the fact they're 11 and 6. So I think I already appreciate it, to be fair, mate. Why don't you take him to the studio and he can stream with you all? We all know he's going to be a YouTuber. He is, actually. Yeah, absolutely. Vote Saturday gone with postal vote. Quite refreshing being able to switch off a bit as I can change my mind now. I can't change my mind now regardless of what happens. It's interesting.
I know a few people that have done a postal vote, and I'm actually wildly jealous that they did that because, yeah, they can't change it now. So it's like, don't need to watch it. What's done is done.
Oh, Craig, thank you for the orange one. Also, Evan, thank you so much for the 10, you legend. You're a fucking hero. Starting the chat train. The member train kind of broke down coming out the station. Pete, Mordy, Hammer and Evan started the member train and then it just broke down. It went,
Was it running on the internet?
It must have been, yeah. It's an internet train. It fucking died. What kind of food do British people make at barbecues? Meat. Meat, and more meat.
A lot of people get quite nervous the minute chicken goes on the barbecue.
I don't.
The amount of people that pre-bake it and then just char it off.
That's cheating. That's not cooking.
Yeah.
If you don't take it out of packet raw, put it on the barbecue and then serve it up properly cooked, you've
black?
cheated. That's barbecue cooked.
What was it you said?
When it's brown, it's cooked. When it's black, it's done. That's the rules for barbecue food, Lee.
Been catching up on all the VODs. Hard for me to catch lives here in Japan. You talked about paying for your guest in the VOD I was watching last and just wanted to say you're a great person.
Aww.
Thanks for the amazing content.
Thanks so much, Craig, for the... I don't know what that is. Yen? Is it yen? Thank you so much, dude. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, when we bring a guest in for a saga, we'll cover their fuel. If they have a hotel, we'll cover their hotel. We pay for their food once they're here. The Great Hall Sagas do not make me any money. I lose money on all of them, but I think they're good videos, and that's why we do them.
Yeah.
Because I think they're good videos. I think they're good, interesting videos. Maybe one day we'll start getting some sponsorships in, and what I'll do is I'll just price a video sponsorship at what it's going to cost me to bring the fucker down here in the first place. That's all I care about. Ark and Land! He started the membership train again! He put one coal on the fire! One coal in the steam engine went on the fire. Yeah, sorry. No, don't worry about it, mate. Thanks so much. I don't know. I like to know currencies. I like to be like, say thank you for the 2,000 yen. I think that's a nice thing to do. But sometimes I see the little currency symbol. I'm like, I haven't got a fucking clue what that is. Guys, ever do a pig roast? Not in my back garden, no. I've done postal voting for years. So much easier. I like to go in and stare at them all in their eyes. It's like cross, tick, whatever one it is you have to do.
There's even a small movement. I don't know if this is going to catch on.
If Liam gets a six-pack, then Luce, you get a six-pack. What is his is yours. What's yours is negotiable. That's what my wife always tells me anyway.
Why do you have to get a six-pack? Thank you, Brian, for the 5.
Because I feel that because you're my husband, your health is just, I have a vested interest in your health, just as you do. So if you get a six-pack, it reflects on me as, motherfucker, now I have to do it. Because if you look really good and you are facilitating me to look good and I'm not doing it, then it's like, well... And
that's a big difference, actually. There's a lot
so
of
selfish.
There's a lot of husband-wife couples out there that I feel like he looks really good, but he doesn't facilitate her for looking really good. That's like, I am like, yes, let's go. Let's do it.
I don't want to go and let's do it.
Yeah. So, Clive the Kiwi, thank you for the one gifted. There's another coal on the fire. There's 2 more coals on the fire, chat. Yeah, so as long as we recognise, appreciate, and announce to everybody that I am in fact facilitating the you looking good too, then I'm okay with it.
I don't think I worded that right. I don't think I worded it right. I'm not sure. Did you all get what I meant? That like your health.
He's got a beard, Luce. Do you have to? You started.
Shut up. That your health is just as much my business as my health is. because I couldn't watch you wasting away. Like when you were working for Rolls-Royce, I couldn't sit here and not say anything.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So, and equally, if you were becoming quite overweight, unhealthily so, and there wasn't a medical issue, it was just, we're possibly looking at undiagnosed depression or whatever, I couldn't sit here and do nothing.
Correct.
So just as you're exercising, I also can't sit here and do nothing.
You could, on all of those counts, do nothing, but I feel like that's not necessarily a great relationship, potentially. I'm conscious I don't want to offend anyone out there who may have been in a situation where they're like, I don't feel like I can say anything for whatever reason.
Oh, having my postnatal anxiety and depression, it's possibly the most selfish illness you can have because it's so insular, and people sharing an environment with the depressed or anxious person, it affects everyone. You think that you're keeping yourself to yourself because you're the problem, but actually you are affecting so many people, and you're not willing to accept the help for many reasons. But, I think they don't mean to be selfish. I definitely
100%.
didn't mean to be selfish.
But you could absolutely say and do nothing.
Yeah.
You could. We are in a relationship where that's not what happens. We don't say and do nothing. We say something and do something. As far as me, and this is the thing, right? This is where it's been quite like, I've said this already a few times. I've not started going, I need to go to the gym, I need to start eating better because I'm like, I need to look better for loose. With respect, it's got fuck all to do with you at all. I've done it because I looked at myself in the fucking camera and was like, oh, fat fuck, where's this come from? And then I sort of took a step back because I've always been in relatively reasonable shape. And like, oh, now I'm getting to that age where if I don't look after myself like I haven't for the last 37 fucking years, then actually that shape is going to be round rather than my old shape. And the other thing that I sort of thought about was I have 2 young children, one's 11, one's 6. I'd actually very much like to be able to run around with my grandchildren. And that's a thing, like that's an aspiration. If the boys decide to have kids in the future, I want to be able to be an active person when their kids run around as well. And so that was important for me as well. It got to the point where I as a young lad in the army specifically, drinking like a fucking fish, eating shit all the time, smashing takeaways, I was one of those where it was like, my metabolism's amazing. I can eat what the fuck I want and I still stay in shape all the time. And that stayed with me. And people were like, it'll stop. And it stayed with me till like 27, 28. And then eventually it started slowing down. I was like, oh shit, it does slow down. Yeah. Chapter Master Balls. We're back to Ballsack. Chapter Master Ballsack. Thank you so much for the 20 gift. It's been a slow start tonight, John. I think they're very upset we didn't do the game, despite the fact it wasn't really our fault. I get what she's saying. He can be your arm candy. You don't have to be his. You can be healthy without being ridiculously unhealthy and unhealthily healthy, if that makes sense. Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But I think it'd be really, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because when I was postpartum, not having the best time, I dread to think what was the time frame that you were like, this has now gone on for longer than I think looking like a bag of shit should because you've just had a baby. How do I now say something? What was that? Because I know I made my phone call a year after I had James. 2 to
3 months, I reckon.
Yeah. So for 2 to.
What was the other thing I did to try and help you out of it? It's currently over there asleep on a bed.
Yeah.
Which we had 3 months after the baby. We got the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, got your dog. I love the dog. You need to go outside to walk it. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not going outside.
Yeah.
Baby poo's outside. I'm not doing it. I can't possibly, because that was such a fear to me, being out and about, and then James needing a bum change out and about. What a ridiculous fear. Because obviously babies poo, and there's baby changing facilities, but it was just such a huge Mount Everest of an idea of like, I have to do what with him out in the shopping centre? Well, let's just keep him home because all the stuff's here at home.
But Jill just nailed it when it comes to that we were just talking about, when it comes to what I'm doing now, when it comes to almost anything ever, when it comes to any kind of change that you make in your life in general, or anything that you kind of sit back and recognise, Jill nailed it. Sometimes something just has to click mentally. And that's there's that famous phrase, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And it's, Joe, bless him, over the course of the last month or so, has been really kind of killing himself to go to the gym and to eat better food and stuff like that because I'm doing it. And I love the fact, like I genuinely love the fact that I am doing a degree of inspiring and helping people want to go and do that kind of stuff. It's amazing. But I had a long old chat with him recently, and I was like, you don't need to kill yourself over this. You need to be in the right headspace, otherwise you're not going to have a positive relationship with it. And then when you eventually go, fuck this, I can't do it anymore for whatever reason, if you've not got a positive relationship, that'll remain negative for even longer because you forced it in the first place. Anyway, Ballsack, thank you so much for 20 gifted, John. I love you. You're a beautiful human being. You're amazing. Jill, thank you for 5 more. And then Wrath of Constantine. How's it going, dude? Has become a Hasir tier member. Hasir tier member chat is all you need to get access to our Discord server. If you become a Skull tier member, you get 5% off on our merchandise store, !merch. And you get access to Great Hall Sagas 5 days before everybody else. If you become a Jarl tier, there is a Jarls only giveaway in Discord right now that's free to enter if you are a Jarl tier member, at which point you get access to this free giveaway. If you click it and enter it and you win, it's drawn tomorrow. It's currently live. It's drawn tomorrow. If it gets drawn tomorrow, you win a Combat Patrol and or Vanguard / Spearhead box of your choosing. Okay? You then have the Haskals, who get a bigger discount on merchandise and some behind-the-scenes content. And then you get the Thanes and the incredible Only Thanes WhatsApp chat. Wrath of Constantine, I'm back. Sorry, I had to bow out for a while. I'm getting married. Cheers, everyone. Oh, bless you, mate. What a legend. You're back, though, aren't you? What a hero. I kicked my missus out of postnatal depression by telling her to get the hell over it. She was fine after that. I don't think that works for everyone, though, Kai, to be fair. 100% couldn't agree with you more. You have to want to do it. You absolutely have to want to do it. And sometimes wanting to do it can come, like, the reason for wanting to do anything at all, whatever it might be, looking into traits that you think you might have and finally deciding to go and sort of dig into it a little bit deeper. Addressing the fact that you might be in some kind of depressive state like postnatal, looking at your fitness and health and the things that you eat, any of those things at all, the inspiration can come from a million different places. It can be literal just self-reflection. It can be things that friends and family say and do around you. It can be close friends having a chat with you. It can be something that you saw on social media where you're like, that's something I'm suffering with, or that's a problem that I'm having. It can be because you've gone on a bit of a journey with your kids and you've seen something, you've gone, that resonates. Quite a lot, actually. Like, there's loads of different reasons, and this is why I'm posting my fitness stuff in Discord, in Thanes, and on Instagram, because a lot of people have said, I've started going to the gym again because you've been posting. I've started going for a jog again because you've been posting. And I'm like, that's really nice to get that kind of feedback from people. And then the Thanes specifically, there's a bunch of people in there that have started posting like, let's get back at it. I'm like, we are unfortunately a race of lazy fuckers on the whole. Humans are naturally lazy, right? We naturally try and find a shortcut to do anything.
That was a bit of advice that I got from, I think it was from you. If I have a task that's annoying, give it to a smart person to do. When they get bored of doing it, they'll find a way of shortcutting it. And then, thank you. Thank you for cutting that down for me. Now I have more time.
We had people when I used to do work at Siemens, and we used to do the train exams, which is like a fucking big MOT it's like a service for a train basically. We used to do training exams, right? It would take a full shift. 12 hours, full shift to do a training, including their lunch breaks and stuff, but take a full shift to do a full training exam, okay? And we had these people come in fucking shirts and ties. We're here to do, if you work in any kind of big business, you've probably all heard this fucking bollocks. We're here for lean processes and lean management. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. And I was like, all right, cool. Listen, being lean is about cutting out the waste and getting rid of the additional waste that exists throughout the day. And they will change process so that you are more efficient with your time and what have you. And I was like, if you want to lean down the exam and save some time somewhere, we don't need these pricks in shirts.
Right.
My boss was like, what do you mean? And so I've got a shift of 19 people down there, of which 12 to 14 of those were around in old British Rail days, right? They've been doing exams every day of their working life for the last 5 to 10 years, some of them, right? You don't need people in shirts. Ask them the quickest way of doing it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Ask them where they want the tools to be in the pit. Ask them where they want the nuts and bolts. Ask them. They do it every day.
Yeah.
And they will at some point. The spanner monkeys in the pit at some point will be like, I wish we had some fucking bolts here. Now, normally they're too lazy to actually implement that. But if a manager comes along and goes, how can we make your life easier and better? Well, if you did this, this, and this, then it'd be easier for me. Oh, cool. So let's do that then.
Yeah.
We're able to facilitate. You're too lazy to do it. We're able to facilitate. We'll do it. We'll put that in place. Oh look, exams are getting quicker.
I always found it insulting in any job I've been in, because I've always been shop floor, because I think I like shop floor. So whenever management would come down and change something around for the air quotes for the better, I would always find it insulting as, did anybody ask the shop floor?
Exactly.
Are you someone's nephew that's been promoted and you're trying to make your mark?
The other thing as well is, where is it? Sean, lean processes, the predecessors to layoffs. That's the other problem as well.
Yeah.
Too many lean practitioners will come in and they'll be like, well, you've got one too many staff. And they'll eventually someone gets laid off or people get laid off. They're like, there you go, we've saved you. Because one of the biggest expenses in the business is staff, right? There you go, we've saved you literal thousands. You're like, yeah, you have, yeah. Oh, hang on, here's a day where we're now wildly short-staffed and we can't do our base load of work because of all the layoffs that happened. That happens. What we've actually done is we've added extra stress to all the people that are on the shop floor. I don't believe in layoffs for the sake of layoffs. I believe in smart manpower distribution, but I don't believe in layoffs at all. But hey, I don't work in that business anymore, so.
I think it also makes it really difficult for shop floor staff to accept a new manager, because that has been the trend of new manager, someone's getting redundancy. It makes it really difficult to integrate. And the manager might not even be looking to save money. It might just be a new manager.
The other thing is with new managers, right? This is something I was very conscious of. The other thing with new managers is they have to come in and fucking change everything. They have to make it theirs. Like, why? It's working. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. It's working.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when I was hiring in Rolls-Royce, when I was hiring area managers, I said to the first area manager that I hired, I was like, you've got this depot, this depot, this depot. Don't fucking change anything to start with. I'm sure you've got ideas as to how you want it to work. I'm sure you can go to each depot and come away from each depot and go, here's all the changes I want to make. Do me a favour, don't make any changes for 3 to 6 months. No major ones.
Yeah.
Tweaks, fine. No major changes. He's like, why? I was like, because at one point on the first week, you might go, this is incredibly inefficient. This doesn't make any sense. And then a month later, you might be like, oh.
I see.
That's why that's done that way. Or that's why they do this thing the way that they do this thing. So you need to give it time to understand the process properly. When I joined Siemens, the first week I was like, get me some coveralls. And I went under the pits and I did all the exams. I'd never done a train exam before. I was about to manage 19 people doing exams. So the first thing I did was like, get me some coveralls, get me in the pit. I will do the exams every day for 5 days. And because I was doing it every day for 5 days, I saw 3 or 4 different teams do them, which all had different nuances and different ways of doing things. So I saw how my team did it, and I saw how another team did it. I saw how another team did it. I was like, they do that bit a bit better, but we do this bit a bit better. And skill sharing is very important across shifts in business anyway. But I actually got in the pits. Like, what are you doing here? I was like, well, I can't ask you to do a job that I don't fucking understand myself. It's impossible. I can't tell you that you can do an exam task in an hour and a half if I have no idea what it is. I've just looked at a bit of paper and went, hour and a half. Can't do that. And so too many bosses come in and like, changes. Like, do you actually understand the process? Do you actually understand what these people are doing?
Yeah.
Because if you don't make any fucking change.
I was the night shift that accidentally got the night shifters in trouble, because the manager would go, right, here's your cleaning for the night time. Yeah. You can do it, spread it out along the shift if you want to, or go for it in the first 2 hours so that you're available for, like, if it's a full moon and all of it happens. So I said, all right, fine, I'll probably spread it out. And then in the course of my first month there, I kept going to her saying, did you know your carpet cleaner's broken? Did you know that this disinfectant isn't meant for that machine? And did you know that your Kosh cupboard's not quite up to scratch? Or did you know this door isn't hung right, so the handyman needs to come? And I kept on saying all these things. And eventually the night shift were like, would you shut the fuck up? You're getting us all in trouble. Well then, do your fucking job properly. Because the manager was going, how much cleaner are you going through? I'm just doing the dosage. It has to be clinically clean, not housewife clean. So I'm doing the dosage. Well, no one's come to me with this. Yes. Why might that be? Why might it be that me, brand new, can't seem to get through this whole list and no one else has said the list is too much?
Cooney, thank you for upgrading to gold. That's because people don't do the job properly. You're a fucking legend, Cooney. Love you. That's because people don't do the job properly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. There was a task we used to do in the trains that basically they're just fucking. It's an air conditioning based task, right? And basically what they would do, right? I'm not gonna name any names, obviously. Is they would turn the fucking aircon on, cold, sign the job card. Right? It's blowing cold air, sign the job card. And then we would get to the summer, and we'd have like a week where it was temperature like yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you would, the trains would come back with reported aircon failures. Like, you go, look on the computer. Fucking examined 5 days ago.
Yeah. Why is that broken?
I had a full aircon exam, HVAC exam. So I went to the job, and I was like, let's have a look at this job, and we started going through it, and I was like, this is not a job that you can do in a 12-hour shift.
No.
If you do this task properly, it will take you about 2 days. But it's in an exam. The train comes in the morning. We do the exam. The train fucks off at night.
Yeah.
Like, this would take you 2 days. And the guy's like, yeah, well, we can't do it, can we? We haven't got the time. I was like, yeah, but have you ever gone, we literally can't do this? Because we can get the exam changed. We can get the maintenance processes changed.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, yeah, but we just sign off. Like, yeah, but now I've got a customer complaining about air conditioning that's failing, which means we're getting fined.
Yeah.
And I can't tell them that we've done this work because we haven't.
Again, a good piece of advice you gave me was, because you always have dead time on night shifts, you just do. And trying to say to everyone else when they're going, well, I won't complain about that because then they'll give me a new one. Trying to say to them, so let it fail. Let it fail consistently, then the managers will see it's too much.
If you let it fail and you've done everything you can to make it work without cutting corners and doing it incorrectly, but you've done everything you can to make it work and it still fails, any manager worth his salt shouldn't have a go at you or discipline you.
Yeah.
And you've covered your boundaries because you've done everything you can.
I couldn't decide if it was a mix of half-assing their way through their job or some kind of weird hero complex that they have to be seen to be 100%ing their shift.
Mr. the Cooney, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships. You fucking beautiful human being. I think actually, to be honest with you, I think a large portion of it is back to the laziness. I've found a thing that I can say I've done, I don't actually have to do, and then I can sit on my arse for a bit longer.
But the trouble is with signing off on things like your HVAC or nobody reported the carpet cleaner break-in. And care homes, the nature of a care home is accidents happen all over the place because it's a home environment. Of course they do, it's fine. But if someone's been on holiday for 2 weeks, who was the person who actually used the carpet cleaner, you've then got 2 weeks of God knows what on that carpet, and CQC can just doorstep you.
Managers will put you with a bus 9 times out of 10 in my experience. Unfortunately, Grumpage, you are 100% correct. There are significantly, in my experience, I'd like to know all of your. We've got a very what's the word? Intimate audience tonight. People aren't happy we're not playing the game. We only have 150 people watching right now. You're beautiful. I love you. Don't forget to hit the magical buttons for me. 150 people watching. Only 79 likes right now. We can get to 100 easily in the next minute, I reckon. I'd love to know your experience, chat, as to whether you disagree or agree with this statement. I don't mind either way, obviously, but in my experience, the majority of management, specifically middle management, are bad. Just bad. The majority. Not all. Not all. The majority. I have worked with some fucking buffoons at my level. Absolute idiots. And what's incredible is at positions I've held, I'm not going to name names now or name companies, at positions I've held in the past, I've been considered one of the best of my peers, which always blew me away because I always felt like I was just doing my job and not going above and beyond. And I feel like that shouldn't be the bar that sets you above everybody else. I'm just doing my job, nothing special. Now, perhaps what I was doing was more, or I just felt like it was just my job, but that was it. The rest of them were just shit, though. It made me look better. And in that regards, I'm kind of grateful. Because cool, I look good for doing not a lot more. But yeah, the majority of middle management, in my experience, honestly, fucking horseshit. I've been junior, dev, lead, and CTO and worked with some poor managers. There's been some awful. It's called failing upwards. That's the thing the military does a lot, actually. I used to sack a lot of them, but that's sales. It was brutal. Is sales... What sort of sales, though, Kai, if you don't mind me asking? You're obviously free to not say a word. I've had maybe a couple of actually good managers in 30 years this year. Oh, my. We have someone who has just completed his supervisor training. He now refers to himself our supervisor, despite no one ever appointing him as supervisor. He's literally just done the training. Wow, let's give a just fucking Rochambeau him. I completely agree. Most of them are just yes men, and they only been put there because they can't do the job, so they put them as a manager. That's true. That happens a lot. Agreed, because the good ones move to upper senior management, and the bad ones get stuck in the middle. Agree with that. I've worked with and for people that I'm convinced should wear Velcro shoes because laces require too much intelligence. Note to all, the only reason Liam has no internet time is because the Great Hall only feet page opened today and blew the fibre optics cables due to download rate. It was, yeah. Everyone's signing up.
One of my favourite managers, she was so talented at man management. She just naturally could handle the chaos. Didn't take long for her to get poached, and then you're at war with yourself of, I want to wish her well, but please don't leave us, because who will replace you? It's
hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you find a good one, it's hard. I had such an amazing leaving gift from my job at Siemens at Northam, such an incredible leaving gift, and I'd never, like, there'd been people that had left before me that never had a single leaving gift at all, and then I got this fucking big engraved ammo tin with engraved pen and engraved fucking whiskey glasses and cigar cutter and all that kind of... It's absolutely amazing. One of the main challenges I've had following promotion to management is the complete absence of training. Work with and for terrible management who have been promoted to ensure they stay. Come to me, Jill. I feel like I could be like the management coach. There's a new social media alter ego in here.
I had a great send-off. I've never been a manager, but it was a lovely send-off. We were unexpectedly all made redundant, and I was well over halfway pregnant with Ben, so quietly panicking to ourselves of, what the fuck are we going to do? We only got pregnant because I had this job to come back to after maternity leave. And all of my colleagues invited me to the pub under the guise of, we've just been made redundant. We all feel like shit. Come to the pub. I know you're only going to drink lemonade anyway, but just come to the pub, have a hangout. We could all cry together and come up with a plan. They had thrown me a surprise baby shower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was already crying because quite pregnant, so I was just in floods of tears the whole night.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that your lovely team, when you have good management, your team just gels and you're not at war with each other. Because I sometimes wonder, a bad manager pits people off one another and it doesn't gel the team.
There's a number of things bad managers do. So bad managers will create dissent in the ranks. They will play them off against each other. And they won't do it in a positive way. They won't make a positive composition out of it. It will literally be, well, such and such said this. They'll gossip with the troop. I'll use the word troops here, right? But that's the staff, right? The general staff. The other thing that I found bad managers do as well is they punish the hard-working with more work.
Yes.
And reward the lazy with less.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
We used to have it all the time. We used to have some people that were incredibly efficient and good at getting certain tasks done, and some motherfuckers that were just lazy shits who didn't do anything. And so what would happen was the guy who allocated the work would be like, well, we need to get this done because we've got to get this train or aircraft finished. So we'll give these difficult, hard, complicated, long-winded, sweaty tasks to these people because they get it done. And we'll give this kind of menial, shit, slow, easy task to these people. I'm like, why? This goes back to the let it fail thing.
I was just about
right?
to say.
So, but why are you doing that? Well, because I need to get it done. I was like, but they've been smashed for 4 shifts in a row now.
Yeah.
And they're going to be feeling a bit unloved, a bit uncared for. Like, fucking hell. I'm working my bollocks off and sweating my body weight every shift. And what I'm doing is I'm coming in to get the difficult tasks again. Meanwhile, Billy over there is fucking thumb up his ass. He's taking 2-hour lunch breaks. He's smoking every 20 minutes. He's not doing anything at all. And he gets the easy job. So why wouldn't I? This is where their mentality will go. This is what will happen when you do break good people. They'll go, well, I'll just act like him.
Exact. Yes, brilliant. That's when it's like, don't do that. Do not compromise your own work ethic.
No.
But let it fail to show the manager it's too much.
And it's like, so what I would do is when we used to come in to shift, the supervisor who would normally allocate the work would come in an hour later. So what he would do is he would leave me his plan for who's doing what tasks that day. And I'd come in, I'd look at the plan. And to start with, because I was quite new to the role, it didn't take long for me to just give out the work, and that's fine. And then I started to realise this pattern, and I was like, this is horseshit. We're grinding our good workers and essentially rewarding our lazy fucks. So I then came in one night, and I looked at what we were required for morning service and blah blah blah. I looked at it, and you as a manager, you go, there's a risk here. Because when this all comes burning down, because it will, because lazy fucks be lazy, I'm going to have a person having a go at me.
Yeah.
So I need to be prepared for that. I need to be prepared for senior management. Our senior manager, who reported to senior management within the local rail franchise, who reported to the Department for Transport London. So that's that trickle there that comes down to me and goes, why the fuck did we not have enough trains to make sure we could run every service? So what I did is I came in, and I swapped the work around. I gave the lazy fuckers the hard tasks, and I gave the hard workers who've been grafting all fucking week. We're on our last shift, been grafting all week, the easy tasks. It's like, you know what, lads, go and have a relatively relaxed night on the whole, because you've grafted for the last 3 to 4 shifts in total. And I knew that they would fail. So what I'd already done is I'd already prepped my boss. I'd already said, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to let you know what I'm doing. I'm warning you now. The likelihood is it's going to fail. So what he was able to do was prep his boss. So what happened when it failed was I was able to pull in the people that didn't pull their weight, and I could start the process of, this isn't fucking good enough.
I think a lot of people think they're immune from that conversation nowadays.
You also have a lot of managers that are too afraid to have that conversation.
Yeah.
There's too many managers that are too afraid to be like, you weren't good enough today.
Yeah.
Which is a legitimate conversation.
Yeah. That must be such a brave conversation for a manager. Where's the line of, no, I'm still within my remit to say these things to you as your manager? Where's the line of...
It's hard. The only thing that makes it difficult for me is the individual's attitude when you start telling them that what they've done is not good enough. So I can be manager, and I can put it in manager speak that you haven't pulled your weight today. And then when I see the attitude, it makes it very easy. It makes it very difficult for me to stay in manager speak, head on, no swear words. I'm speaking to you as a manager, right? It makes it very difficult to do that, rather than going, right, you fucking lazy cunt. Because that did happen a couple of times. It did. It did. There was at one point an individual that got told, fucking button it or I'll throat you. And they looked at me like, you can't say that. And I was like, I can't say that. But he pushed me to my fucking limit. And I was like, fucking button it you or I'll throat you. And he went, Star Pilot! You've come to save the show. I was watching season 2 of The Boys this weekend, and I keep calling the superhero Star Pilot, and it's your fault, Sam. It's your fault. I was even talking to Joe today, and I was like, oh, it's that episode where Star Pilot, he was like, Star Pilot? I was like, Starlight. Fucking hell. It's your fault, Sam. Thank you so much for 50 gifted. Chat, she has just given you a monumental leg up to hit the membership goal yet again on a stream this week. Right? Look at this. Surely now you can just tickle the balls over the edge. Sean Williams, thank you for the one gifted. I don't know if I got that one already.
Have you ever, I've never had this, but I've heard of it. When the whole let it fail, have you ever had a worker break their own heart because they cannot let it fail?
That's hard to manage, and you have to manage those people, and you have to recognize those people as well, and you have to sometimes you put the really hard-working people on the easy task, you put the lazy fuckers on the really hard task, and you can see the hard worker coming over to help them. You're like, no
Naughty,
go away. and sometimes you have to have that conversation. Would they come and help you if you were in that position? No, so don't help them. Don't help them.
Yeah. The story I heard was one carer, they were understaffed. chronic problem in care homes, and this person was running around like a blue ass fly, couldn't get all the duties done on a night shift, and then the boss heard her crying in the toilet, and the boss had to sort of break the door open because she knew she wasn't using the toilet, but had to send her home on a form of compassionate leave because it was pretty much burnout.
Yeah.
Of, my God, it's okay that you didn't get things done, because the day shift versus night shift is it's such a real thing that letting it fail was not an option.
Yeah.
Because it's always the other shift's fault.
Sometimes you have to say to these people as well, you're like,
Yeah.
if you go and get involved there, that means you're telling me you've got capacity to do another job. So I'll give you another job. Oh
Yeah.
no, I don't want that. Right, leave them alone, then let them fucking fail. Go away.
Right, yeah.
Oh my lord, Brian Garrett, thank you for 10 gifted memberships. That's incredibly generous. Not quite Sam generous, but still incredibly generous. That pushed us over the goal, over the target. You beautiful human being. Clive the Kiwi, thank you for 1 more. Datsun Des, thank you for 1 more. Average British Nerd, thank you for 5 more. Chat, you're just 41 away from a t-shirt now. That's it, right? We're only £21.72 into my £100 super chat goal, which is like my buffer. The way I see it, right, is if we get the super chat goal, that basically then covers what YouTube takes out of everything. that's how my mind works. Not quite, mathematically not quite, but that's how my mind works. Right? If we get to the super chat goal, normally like 150 quid, when YouTube takes its 30% cut, I'm like, well, so the super chat's gone, which means the members is all profit. Which is not quite right, but ish. You get the idea. That's why I have these goals in my mind that I work with, okay? But yeah, so people are inherently lazy. You have to fish the lazy ones out, and if you don't fish the lazy ones out, then what's going to happen is you're going to continue with this horrific kind of work environment, and bad managers will pit people off against each other in that same environment, and they will not recognise the hard workers, and they'll burn the hard workers out. Like you said, they'll burn and not quite the same in my personal environment, which was essentially 99% male engineering. But equivalently, you'll find them crying in the toilet.
Yeah.
You just will. You'll find them going, I can't. Or you'll be like, what happened to that guy? He was a really fucking good worker.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I was. And all that happened was I got shat on constantly for 6 months. So fuck it.
Do you agree with the saying, one bad apple?
It can.
Really?
It 100% can. 9 times out of 10, when the staff started to act like bellends, whether that was at Rolls-Royce or at Siemens or in other careers, there is a ringleader. There is an individual. He's like the equivalent, right, of when you've got an older sibling and a younger sibling. He's like the equivalent of the older sibling going, go on ask mum and dad for some popcorn. It's that, right? He just want to put himself in, or she doesn't want to put himself in the line of fire, but like, you go say this. Go say that this isn't good enough. Go say that we're not happy about this. And then someone will come in after like, boss, can I have a word? I'm like, yeah, of course you can. It's not going to go your way. You can have a word. We've got this problem. I'm like, have you now? and it'll come from an individual. You're like, that's not come from you. You could barely spell your own name.
You've used a word there with 3 syllables in.
Yeah.
That isn't from you.
Yeah. But the other thing as well that bosses don't do well, which I find very frustrating, is allowing individuals to just be happy. So we had a guy, and I did a one-on-one, and I sat down with him. I can't remember his name. I sat down with the guy. I was like, right, cool. So we had to do this like 6 monthly reporting thing. In the army, we have like SJARs, which are annual reports, and you have 6 monthlies. We used to do this thing. Every profession I've done, we have a competency management system, and then you have like a performance management system and all that kind of stuff. And you'd have this system where you'd have to do check-ins with your staff, and you'd be like, how are you finding it? Are you happy? Is there any courses you'd like to do? What's your career path, like aspirations, all that kind of stuff. And part of our job for career development and professional development was to help them. So, well, I think I'd like to do this course in this particular thing. You're like, okay, cool. I can help you with that. Actually, I can give you a list of dates and courses you can book yourself. Like we can, etc. We can check on rosters and what have you, and I can get you in on a course. And I sat one guy down. I was like, cool. So how you find it? Yeah, I'm happy. I was like, well, so you only really do exams with a little bit of extra here and there. Do you enjoy it? Yep, I love my work. I'm really enjoying my work. I was like, okay, cool. So career aspirations, we had technician grades, T2, T1, butt fuck, no qualifications. Literally only good enough to clean a toilet, genuinely. T2, qualified technician, could start doing simple tasks, right? You could do things like specific exam and maintenance tasks. And you had extra courses for wheels and axles and brakes because they're safety critical systems, right? Yeah. And then you go T3, so T2 had A, B, and C, and then it go T3, A, B, and C, T4, A, B, and C, T5, A, B, T6. T6 is a supervisor, big money supervisors, right? 50 grand a year supervisors on T6. And then all the way down to a T1, which is like 20k or something, right? Okay. And it scales all the way through those bands. So he was a T2, right? T2, just about safety critical qualifies. Like, so did you want to do all the workbook stuff required to get yourself up to the competency level required for T3? He's like, nope.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why not? I don't need to. I was like, but T3's more money. And he went, I don't need more money. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't want any extra responsibility. I don't want any extra jobs. I don't want to do any more courses. I just want to keep coming to work and do what I'm doing. And there is too many managers out there at that point that will also go, no, you need to want to progress. You fucking don't.
No.
Because what happens when he progresses, I need to fill his space. We need the workers. Yeah. And too many businesses and too many companies across the fucking world, whether it's in rail maintenance, in the fucking army, whether it's Morrison's over the road and supermarkets, whether it's Weatherspoons, no matter what it is, too many businesses forget the fact that they need the base people. They need them.
Yeah, because it's the base people that tick the company.
Without those shop floor workers, you don't have a business.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
That's always been a thing. Whenever I've done the CV and I've got called in for the interview and they'll say, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I feel like it's such a pathetic question.
It is.
You can see how old I am. You can see I've got children. I don't know where I see myself next week. Never mind 10 years. I will come to work because I have a family to pay for. I am punctual. I will always want to learn. Do I want to be a manager? No.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with that?
Some people don't cope with management.
No, I don't.
They don't cope with the stress. There was once... hang on. Right, okay. I started reading a Kai comment. I was like, I don't know if I should read this out loud because I didn't know what direction it was turning in. It's not a great direction, but still. There was a lady once in the Bristol office. She went missing. My mate found her on the second floor crying, wrapping herself in bubble wrap. We didn't see her again after the ambulance came. That's what work can do to people. Mm. The thing is, we spend the majority of our waking hours working nowadays. We just do. And in the current climate, some people do set 2 jobs. Families pass like ships in the night because they've got 2 jobs. It's difficult because I'd like to say to anyone, if a job puts you in that kind of space, like Kai's just mentioned, then that's definitely not a job that you should be getting to a point before you hit that spot where you're like, I'm walking away from this. It's not worth it. But it's hard in this current climate, isn't it? Really. But there's an idea called Peter Principle. Some good gets promoted to the point of incompetence. Someone good gets promoted to the point of incompetence. It's definitely a thing that I've witnessed. We're good at that at our place. We've got a number of really good experienced staff who could be team leaders, managers, trainers. If they wanted to progress, they would be supported all the way. They just want to graft absolutely fine, yeah.
I would love to be able to sit in an interview and when they've asked you all the questions and they do that, I've set 10 minutes aside. So do you have any questions for me? I would love to say, how bullshitty is the staff bullshit in here on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah, on the scale of 1 to bullshit, yeah.
Because it's everywhere. Fine.
Is it all 8 letters?
Is it really bad in here? Because I just don't have capacity for it. Or can I come to work, make some acquaintances and go home? You
can ask that question, and what you won't necessarily get is an honest answer. Kai, you're fine. It's just I was worried that was going to go really dark at the end of that comment, and I don't... Some people have had some incredibly horrible experiences. If you consider that... I need to be careful. If you consider the worst place a person can go to... So I've dealt with this a lot in the railway. Unfortunately. If you consider the worst place a person can possibly go to... and statistics for this, unfortunately, are still shockingly high. Especially in the UK. I don't know about other countries, but I'd imagine it's not too dissimilar. Statistics for this particular thing are still shockingly high. I was worried when I started reading your comment that that's where it was going to go. I just skim read it first to make sure that it was... So she got taken away in an ambulance. She got some help before... And I know you didn't see her again, but she got some help before it potentially got to the worst case, right? I've seen firsthand with my own eyes too much of what can happen when it gets to that worst case and what people get pushed to. So one of the things I did as a manager was just try to make sure forever that I never pushed any single individual to that point.
Yeah.
Or even close, for that matter. And we recognised it, and we were bringing in trim training. Trim is trauma risk management. We were bringing in mental health first aiders at work. When I joined Siemens, which was in 2017, I joined Siemens, 2016. And when I joined them in 2016, right, my local place of work at that point had a grand total of 0 mental health first aiders. So you have, first aid at work, the course. There's a mental health at work course now as well that exists for mental health first aiders. We had 0 mental health first aiders, and we had 0 trim practitioners. And I raised the issue of trim. So why don't we have any trim practitioners? Why do we need trim practitioners? So do you know what trim is? And what is it? So it's trauma risk management. So what happens is when someone's had a traumatic experience, we then risk manage that individual to make sure that if they show signs of not coping with the thing that they've experienced, we get them signposted to the right help as early as possible. They're like, well, why do we need that? We literally attend rail suicides. We literally go rail side whilst half the time the individual's still under the train, because we have to make sure it's still safe to move so they can get the train off the person so they can then tidy the person away. Yeah. Like, you don't think that's traumatic?
Yeah.
And they were like, we need some trim practitioners. I was like, you fucking do! Jesus Christ! I've been offered supervisor training before finishing my probation. That's good though, Escape, right? That's a good sign. That's the other thing. People are like, you could be promoted too fast. Maybe you can. Okay. It is possible.
What are the qualities that you'd need to see in a person for you to go, I think that's a team leader there? I know they don't want to promote, but I think I'm seeing a team leader. Can it be taught? Is it just qualities somebody has? Can you teach it?
I think there's 2 levels to being a good leader. I don't want to use the word manager leader. There's two parts, and they are the 2 parts. You manage and you lead. Right, they're the 2 things you do. Told you I could be the manager coach here. New business idea coming soon, right? You manage and you lead. That's the 2 things you do. Okay. One you can teach, I believe. One you can't. In my personal experience and opinion, I think you can teach management. You can teach people to time manage. You can teach people to use spreadsheets. You can teach people to set goals. You can teach people to input routines. You can teach management. 100% you can teach management, because management is process. It's just process. I don't think you can teach a person to be a leader. Leading is natural, and it comes from a raft of sometimes very basic raw human style kind of things. So leadership comes from like charisma is part of leadership.
Have you heard what happened to Chick Payne?
I've heard she passed away. I've not heard anything else in the rest. So I didn't know her anyway. So neither can be trained. No, I think management can be trained, but I don't think leadership can be trained. Leadership is a natural thing. Can you get people to follow you, even if the thing that you're suggesting is borderline lunacy? Yes, you're a good leader. Can you get people to follow you, even though the thing that you're suggesting makes perfect sense? No, you're a bad leader. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before, but I had the critical incident stress management team at work. We see way too much to not have some sort of mental health care with the job. Absolutely good. And I'm glad we're seeing more of this globally as well. We're seeing more of this. So we often think about the people that are directly involved in things like incidents, right? We often don't think about the people that are the people attending the incidents to help those that are involved in the incident. And there's a shockwave that happens. When an incident happens, there's a shockwave that happens. Yeah. Where you have the directly impacted, the person who's been injured, hurt, or whatever, the person who's done the injuring or hurting, even if it's accidentally, you have the directly impacted, the secondary, which is like families and witnesses and etc. But then you also have the first responders, the emergency responders. They're also impacted, and for ages we didn't do anything. Oh, you're a paramedic, it's your job.
Wow.
I mean, it is their job, but still, it doesn't necessarily mean they're good. And I, as a friend of mine who was a police officer, ex-police officer, and he was like, there is no you've got 20, and when you get to number 0, they clock out. Everyone's counter is different. So some people will see 50 in severe incidents and be like, yeah, whatever. And some people will see 5 and be like, I'm done. I can't do anymore. I'm at my capacity. You know. I completely agree with your beliefs on management and leaders. Experience is essential. Is it? Is it?
I think I could lead a group of preschoolers.
Sorry, Liam. Work ethic and social skills can't be trained. Completely agree with you. I would put that under the leadership bracket, not the management bracket.
I think I could lead a group of preschoolers quite easily. We'd have the best day.
To an ice cream van.
Yeah. We're going to have a sugar eating contest. Whoever wins gets to go home.
I always shout, follow me, guys. There's Haribo over that hill. Anyone can manage someone, but to lead someone is very different. I completely agree. 100%. I completely agree. I absolutely agree. And so this is where, like, Grumpage says, work ethic and social skills. Some people would think, well, that's being a good manager. I don't think it is. Being a good manager, you have to have management and leadership. Social skills and work ethic is leadership, in my opinion. I don't think it's management skills. Management skills is organizational. It's process following. It's not that. Management in itself, as a core function, is not that hard. It just isn't. Leading people whilst managing that function is where it becomes, I think, difficult. And I actually genuinely believe that management is hard. And I was, interestingly, I went into management at Siemens with no management training or courses whatsoever. So I did my first week where I got my coveralls on and went under the trains and did all the exams and stuff. I did my second week where I attended all the senior meetings, met all the management team, met the senior management team, met the customer, all that kind of stuff. I did a couple of weeks of training on actually what my job was, as to this is what your daily looks like. I never had any formal management training. And this is one of the problems with managers in general. You'll do. You can be promoted. You're a manager now.
Yeah, you're saying all the right things.
Yeah. And you go, coveralls off. When I got the job at Siemens, coveralls off, shirt on. I'm a manager now. But based on what? Now, I have subsequently, because I like to attempt to better myself, I have done management. So I did people business management training, which is borderline foundation degree level. I'm a real fucking moron when it comes to training. This is where I'm lazy. So I've done about 3 or 4 courses throughout my career where they're like, if you do this extra, like, 20 hours of work and learning, you'll be accredited with a formal qualification that's recognisable elsewhere. And I'm the dickhead that's like, nah, not doing that. Don't fancy it. Don't fancy it at all. Like, but it's like 20 hours extra learning. The people business management course was like another 40 hours learning or something. But you'll get a foundation degree in management. I was like, nah, don't fancy it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nowadays, I'm like, why didn't young me be like, yeah, I'll fucking take that. The business is paying for it. I'll get qualified. I didn't, so that's my own fault. Anyway, chat, we have smashed the membership goal, so thank you so much. You people are fucking incredible. We are, however, £77. That's an amazing number away from our super chat goal. You know, the YouTube tax. So, what are we going to get people to super chat about right now that's relevant to the conversation? Your best or worst management-based experience. Either you managing someone or someone managing you.
Okay, I've only ever been managed. I've never been a manager. My worst one was when I was barmaid. There was a guy who got too drunk and I refused to serve him. There's like a hatch that the waitresses use to go to and fro pot wash. He used the hatch to shout to my manager down the corridor at the top of his lungs, clearly drunk at this point. My manager came out and said, "No, Lucy, he's fine. You can keep serving him." From that day on, I may as well have not bothered being a barmaid.
Undermines you entirely.
Yeah, because I think it's the barmaid that goes to court if a policeman deems him way over the limit, and I've kept serving him. Yeah. So any day after that, he was like,
well, then you get the fine, you get the record, etc.
And I remember being so let down of, you told me that you would back me up if I decided to stop serving someone.
Kai says, experience is essential and valuable if you want to be the best. One of the best ways to demonstrate leadership, in my opinion, is to lead by example. Took 2 decades to learn from that experience. When I joined Siemens in 2016, I'd never worked in that environment at all in terms of a active maintenance depot for rail. I didn't know the jobs. I didn't know the exams. I did a week's worth of training on exams. When I left 3.5 years later, I was essentially begged not to leave and was told I was the best manager on site. I'm just saying what happened. I'm not comfortable saying these things often, but I had zero experience in that industry. What I did, however, was I listened to the people that did have the experience, and I learned from those people. I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the experience at all. I just learned from those people. I think I get what you're saying, and I think I agree with you to a point. Absolutely. There was a couple of times where I led by examples. A couple of times where trains weren't going to go out on time. I walked out on the shop floor, rolled my management sleeves up, and was like, give me the fucking tools. What needs doing? What can I do? I'm qualified, so I can work on it safely. What am I doing? And I would go and do some work, and I'd get covered in shit. And Lucy would be like, when I came home in the morning at 6:30, she's like, why are you covered in crap? Because I've actually had to work on the tools today.
Yeah.
This is the thing I've had to do.
My best manager, she instilled in me, she used to be an auxiliary nurse, which is old school talk for carer, I think. She had such an old school work ethic that she would, I guess a little bit like basic, if my hospital corners weren't to her standard, she'd undo the whole bed. Not in a nasty way like throwing your uniform out the window and then tabbing over it, but enough to go, really? It's just a bed! But she'd make me make them again, and then I worked for her for a little while, got made redundant. My next job, because I came from under her, my next job, they kind of let me design my own rota so that we could sync up with our night shifts. And I remember thinking, I'm really grateful for her now, because without her, I don't think I'd have this reputation of she's one of hers. So she'll have the good work ethic and she will work.
That's also dangerous though.
Yeah, it can instill the let it fail thing.
That goes back to the story we were just talking about.
Yeah.
She's good, she's got the work ethic. Bad manager's like, oh,
let's give her all the handfuls
so like,
of...
that's lovely, but also like...
I was definitely, when I was going to my new boss and saying things like, did you know that your carpet cleaner doesn't work and that this is the wrong solution to that and the ratios are out, your tumble dryer's making a funny noise. Although I was snagging all of these things, I was constantly in my mind of, have the others stopped saying because it's too much and they don't know how to let it fail because the whole day shift versus night shift, or are they lazy? And I've just come from a care home where the standard was really high and I didn't know how high. Because that's interesting. So when I left the army aviation, when I left the army, I was like, the fucking standards here are bollocks. This is fucking shit. Fucking blah blah blah. This is terrible, etc. 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 All this kind of.
Can't believe your internet bloke let you down.
But he didn't, did he, Sean? He didn't, because he came in, he super chatted £5 and then gifted 10 memberships. You fucking hero. We're now only £72 away from the super chat goal. I asked everyone for their best and worst management experiences in super chat, Sean, and they've all completely fucking ignored me. What was I saying? I was going to say something.
Your standards, this is bollocks.
Yeah. So thank you. I left the army. I was like, army aviation standards is awful. Blah blah blah. Then, the first job I had out of the army was on the London Underground, working in their rail depot, and I was like, oh, actually, the standards there were like, it's that thing, isn't it? The grass isn't always greener.
No.
Like at that point, I was like, so in the aircraft world, all of the tools are shadow boarded. So if you remove a tool from a toolbox, you know exactly which tool is missing because there's a yellow cutout where that tool's come from. Every aircraft is placed on tools via, or it used to be anyway, placed on tools via a tally system. So you know which toolbox is on which aircraft, and every tool in every toolbox is etched. So you know which tool belongs to which tool, etc., 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 right? So you don't lose fucking tools. And if you lose a piece off of a tool, they're like, stop fucking everything. Where's that gone?
Yeah.
Right? In the trains, I remember someone doing a panel up inside a train and like put their tools away and going, oh, I've lost me fucking 12mm socket. And there's me fresh from the aircraft world, like, and he's like, oh fuck it, I'll buy another one. But that could be in the train. He went, so? I was like, what? He's
Why
like,
is
"Well,
nobody distressed by this?
business expensive by another one." I was like, I don't understand. I'm not sure what's going on here. Yeah, and people were like, in the aircraft world, they're like, so you need this specific bolt that has this specific part number. Have we got that specific bolt that's got that specific part number? No, we don't. What do? We fucking order it and wait. In the rail industry, have we got this specific bolt that's got this specific part number? Nah, just find one that fits. No. There was another job that required us to mount a bracket underneath the driver station to route a cable that you would then P-clip this cable onto to keep it out of the way of his feet and what have you. And they were like...
Worked 6 months for promotion, hit all targets, then told no. Notice went in next day, been self-employed ever since.
That sucks, but it doesn't being self-employed rule, brother Alan. Thank you so much for the $20, man. What a fucking legend. So we had this bracket to go underneath, right? And the procedure told you needed to rivet the bracket. Do you know what riveting is? Rivet is where you put two pieces of metal together and you hold it together with another piece of metal, essentially. And what happens is there's a little thing that you put in, and then as you squeeze the rivet gun, it pulls the back up and it forms a rivet, or you can knock it with a hammer. And there's ways. If you see aircraft skins with all the little round bubbles, they're rivets, right? It's metal attached to metal via metal, essentially, right? Okay. And so you had to measure it all out and drill the holes, and it's very fucking precision work. My aircraft guys loved this.
Our CEO has just announced his resignation, and I'm super gutted. He's the best senior manager I've ever had, and losing him is going to hurt.
That always sucks, Sean. Is he retiring or is he resigning to go somewhere else, though? Because I'd be really interested if he's going somewhere else as to why. So yeah, thank you so much for the 5 there. You're a legend. So yeah, so I did this job, and it took me a couple of hours to get it done, and it was fucking perfect. And once I'd finished it, measured everything up after, because measure twice, cut once, all that kind of stuff. And then once you do it, you measure it again, just to be sure. Measure it all up. Fucking spotty. This is a great bracket. Good job. And then one of the old guys came and found me, who'd been doing the fucking work on trains. He's like, where the fuck have you been?
Just find one that fits does not apply to all.
It doesn't know, Star. Thank you for the 2. And I was like, I fitted a bracket. He went, 2 hours! I was like, yeah. And he went, why? So I took the panel off. I was like, there you go. And he went, oh, you actually fucking riveted it. I was like, yeah. I was like, well, hang on. And he had paperwork in his hand, right? And I took the paperwork off him and I flipped through it. He'd done 5 or 6 in the time that I'd done 1. I was like, how the fuck have you done 5 or 6 in the time that I'd done 1? Accepting the fact that it might be that he's done the job more than me. He might be more experienced than me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I don't rivet him. I just use fucking super glue.
La 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 la. No, I'm complicit. No.
But the procedure says use rivets. He went, yeah, it takes fucking ages. Like, I know, I've just done 2 hours. He's like, yeah, it's fucking epoxy resin. There you go, glue it on. Job's a good one. Leave it, clamp it for a bit. Fuck off. When that one's clamping and drying, you can start the next one. I was like, oh no, I can't do this. Yeah, that used to make me sob a little bit inside. I've dropped tools that went 1 kilometre down the shaft. I beg your pardon. That I had an experience like that, Brother Alan. Actually, I'll talk about my experience, which is very similar to yours. When I was at Siemens, I was in a role that was called a production manager. Okay, and production manager was like middle level management. So low level management was the supervisors who'd run the shifts. Middle level management was kind of production managers, but it was like low middle level management. It wasn't middle level, it was just below middle level. We then had a head of production who looked after all the production managers, and he reported to a guy called the FDM, the fleet delivery manager. Then there was other department managers. So we had the health and safety manager, we had the what's called outstations manager, which is the engineers that were sent out to stations, funny old thing, to do repair work. We had the fleet performance manager, we had the technical manager, etc. And they all basically sat with the head of production in this middle management bracket, all together, right? That was where they were. That was the kind of plane they all sat on. And I'd been doing the production manager's job for a couple of years, and I was like, I'm enjoying it, I like it, I'm ready for the next challenge. And Luce knows what I'm like. I get itchy feet quite quickly. I'm ready for the next challenge. I need to be challenged. I need to be stimulated. Not like that, you dirty bastards. I need to be stimulated all the time. And so I'd been working very, very hard. I'd made what I thought was quite a good reputation for myself. Our head of production left. So I put in an application for the job. I was like, all right, I'll take the job. I'll manage these fucking buffoons, because the other 4 production managers were buffoons, right? I'll do this. I'm into this. I can do this. I then got called into the fleet delivery manager's office to discuss my application for head of production. And he said to me, I don't feel like you're ready for this yet. So the head of production doesn't actually sit on the same plane as all of these other management positions. He sits actually above him. You need to do a department management first before you can come in and do this role.
Worst manager I've seen? I'll change names to protect them. The boss, let's call him Liam, threatens his staff member, let's call him Joey, with a beating if he doesn't perform well enough at his job.
You're right, Easton. Great manager. You're right. Great manager.
On the topic of management, at the call center where I work, we all have a once-per-year meeting with our team leaders. My team leader usually asks me if I'm interested in other career paths, such as being a team leader.
There's a second part to this chat coming.
It must feel nice, though, to be in a meeting and your manager's like, you wasting away down there. Even though you were happy down there, it must be a nice feeling that you go home like, I feel good.
Yeah, I could.
That's good.
I'm happy where I am, but I have an option.
Yeah.
The option is always the nice part, I think. And sometimes there is also a degree of the fear of the unknown. I have the option. I don't necessarily want to take that leap. Thank you, ESN, for the 10. You are right. Great manager, that Liam fella. Yep. Great. And Johan, thank you for the 400 Swedish krona. Hey, Corona. So I was told I'm not ready for that role yet. I need to manage a department. And then he said, of the applicants that have applied for this role, it is probably going to be one of the department managers who is successful, so there will be a department slot available. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, know what I mean, right? Was essentially what he said. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm into it. Okay, cool. So he then picked his head of promotion, his head of production. And when he picked it, I was like, really?
Him?
Are you sure? I'm actually pretty convinced what he did, because he's picking the person who directly reports to him, was pick himself a bit of a yes man, because the individual that was in the post beforehand, who was a fantastic manager, was not a yes man. And he wouldn't just say yes. He'd be like, no, that's wrong. I'm challenging it. And I think the fleet delivery manager didn't like it very much. Anywho, he picked that person. That person did actually open up another position. I was like, that's the department. So I, of course, applied for the department manager's position. I then found out who was successful for interview in terms of getting an interview. I was one of them. I found out who my competition was. I was like, got this in the fucking bag.
My answer to her is always no. I really don't want, and really don't think I could handle that responsibility. Especially since the team leader has to manage not only the team, but also tragic and bad things that might happen.
I think sometimes it's very admirable, Johan, to actually recognise your own personal limits. Like, genuinely admirable. I don't think anyone should ever be punished for that. They should be, if anything, rewarded for it. So you've recognised that that's not something you think you'd like to do or cope with. You've gone, nope, not interested. I love that. So I applied for it with two other people got applications in, and I was like, I know those two fucking clowns. I'm in here. I interview well. I interview strong. Brilliant. Did the interview. Came out of the interview like,
my uncle works DHL hub at a major airport. Went on a smoke break and a suit came out and bummed a cig off him. He spent the break talking mad shit on operation procedures. The suit was the COO. Uncle got Employee of the Month.
that ended in a way I did not expect, but that I'm very impressed with.
Has anybody ever had the undercover boss thing?
That's kind of it. That's
it,
incredible.
isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Siege, for the $20. That's a fucking awesome story, by the way. So I was up against these two other guys. I did the interview. I came out of the interview like supremely comfortable. Like, I've done a fucking good job there. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah.
2 days, 3 days, 4 days. It took them like a week. We all had the interviews on basically the same day. It took them like a week. And then I got a phone call going, you've been unsuccessful. And I was like,
what?
But I was like, you know what? Maybe someone else just interviewed better than me. Fair play.
Yeah.
So another individual. Then I found out who got the job. And I was like, like, of the two other people, that wasn't the one I thought it might be. At all. That, however, wasn't the bad experience. That was a bad experience, but wasn't a bad experience. I am an individual at that point that I'm like, you know what? Fair play. Maybe he did a better interview. Maybe he did a better presentation. Cool. Okay. I'm not miserable in my job. I was just ready for the next step and an opportunity came available. In that particular depot, those opportunities didn't come up very often because staff didn't move too frequently.
Yeah.
So I wasn't pissed off too much at that point in time. I wasn't pissed off. That then changed about 2 months later, ish, roughly, when I was having a meeting with the new head of production, and he had been one of the individuals who was interviewing for his successor. And of the 3 people that applied for the for that job to be his successor in his previous role, all 3 of them were production managers. So all 3 of them were his new team, and he basically got to pick the one to get rid of and go to the other role. The way my mind works, the way my brain works, the way my fucking autism works is I'm like, well, he's the best person for the job. Yeah, but Liam, that means you're losing from the team. Yeah, but he's the best person for the job. So that's the person who gets the job. There's no grey area there for me. That's the best person for the job. No ifs, buts, ands, or maybes. But that'll create a gap somewhere else. I don't care. It's the best person for the job. They've applied for it. They want it. They're the best person for it. They deserve it. That's how my mind works. That wasn't how this individual's mind worked. And he said to me in a meeting, he made the bold choice to say to me in a meeting, just so you know, your interview was really fucking good. I picked him because I basically wanted him off the team and I wanted to work with the rest of you. So I didn't get my promotion because you wanted him off your team.
Yeah. Couldn't that be seen as career fouling?
I instantly started looking for another job and then moved and left and went to Rolls-Royce.
Yeah.
Maybe he gives a good old hawk turn. Maybe he's I don't know. I work with colleagues who probably drink the paint. I've never understood why colleagues are scared of board members or senior leadership. They're literally just people. Do you know what, the amount of times we had supremely senior management people turn up on a depot or even in the army, and I used to say to anyone, I'm like, say what the fuck you want. Don't swear at them to start with, and if you do, because you're a guy on the tools all the day, then just try and limit it a bit. Say what you want. I don't care. I don't care what you complain about. I don't care what you moan about. I don't care how shit you think it is. I don't care. Be honest, because the only way any change will ever happen is by being honest. But I want you to do 2 things for me before you do that. Thing number 1 is have evidence.
Yeah.
Thing number 2 is offer a solution.
Yeah.
It's all I care about. This is shit because this, and this is how I'd fix it. If you do that, you can say what you want to anyone in the management team. Yeah. Because it's constructive, ultimately. And then some of the lads were like, this is a trap. It's not a fucking trap.
I think I got over. Jill's just put in a comment. It's gone now, but her comment was something like, literally don't understand why people are scared of board members, etc. They're just people.
Yeah, that's what I just read out, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was
Doesn't listen to me, chat. Doesn't listen to me.
No, you're right. I didn't know. I was reading something else. I think I used to be...
Wait for Sigmund.
Controversial on Reddit, but I love managing, especially in operations. New challenges every day. Seeing the people I hire with too many spots and no pubes become real engineers is a genuine joy.
100% Sean. Thank you for the 10, dude. 100%, absolutely.
I got over my fear because I also, if I knew there was some kind of high up manager, I'd make myself scarce because I just fall apart. I'd be the person in a care home that if CQC were in the area, my boss would come and find me and say, you're the cleaner today.
I remember this story.
Because you're a liability.
Literally happened, right?
Yeah, and okay. And I get the mop bucket. I just fall apart in front of people. But I think I got over it when I started to work for small family companies. Because yes, they are the highest you can go. There is no HR department because it's such a small family company. But also, there is only a tiny staff room and you are all in there at some point and you're going to hear about them watching Coronation Street or that they had to put the dog to sleep or something and then they become human for a cup of tea's worth. So I think working for family companies did make me go, oh, you are people.
Well, there is, I think smaller businesses and family companies also have a significantly different dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So we are, at this point in time, I would probably consider us a small family business.
Yeah.
I run it, you help do some of the admin and the merch. I know Joe isn't family, but we are a small business of essentially 3 people right now, right? And then we've got people like Brom and Kyle and Eddie and Paddy who volunteer, and they get very minimal in the way of payment because we can't afford to offer them lots. I absolutely can't make them staff. Which means a bad decision or a wrong decision when you are a small kind of tiny company, a family company or whatever, could completely destroy, kill your business. Gone. When you are a fleet delivery manager, for example, at Siemens Northern in Southampton, right, and the cock-up happens, you're probably, depending on the severity of the cock-up, your business isn't going out of business. You're one of the biggest engineering companies globally. You're not going out of business. So there's less weight to it. So when you have those conversations with those individuals at the top of those small family businesses, Do you know what? They're probably more likely to listen to you.
Yeah.
One of my team came out of surgery this week and I was the first person he texted to tell me he was okay. Off his tots on meds, but he was I love you man. Best boss ever.
Did he get a wrong number? I'm joking, Sean. That's a lovely thing to hear as well, by the way. That's an absolutely wonderful thing to hear. I think you're all right anyway.
I think I'm slightly better with high-up managers now.
But yeah, so when you talk to those high managers in small family businesses, they are 100% more likely to listen to you because they're like, if this person has a good idea, it directly impacts them. When they're a high up manager in a major global corporation, it doesn't really impact them. They're like, yeah, all right, whatever. But they also typically have a lot more things to look after as well.
Well, also having you, because when you worked for Rolls-Royce, you were. I do listen, babe. I've forgotten what your job was. You were a high-up manager in Rolls-Royce. All I know is you were chained to that desk for like 14 hours a day.
I managed the biggest contract Rolls-Royce Power Systems UK had.
So what was your job title?
I was a fleet manager.
Okay, so high-up manager. No? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
I reported to Director Rail.
I wasn't sure, but
I reported to the director. You fucking lunatic.
But this is it, because when I talk about you working for Rolls-Royce, people go, "Oh wow," but I only know the human side of you, and you were a high-up manager, but I only know the human side of you. So I'm like, yeah, I guess he kind of looks a bit scary on paper, but actually, he's just a person.
I reported rail director who reported managing director, and we would often have meetings, the three of us.
Yeah, there was many.
We would sit and have tea and cake with the managing director.
Drone on.
Hashtag ignored. Yes, 40k medic.
But I think it's because now when I hear about somebody else being a high-up manager, I instantly go to, well, my person was a high-up manager, and actually he was exhausted, and I don't know if he regretted his career move choice because it's not quite what it was that he signed up for.
I actually missed that job.
Do you miss it because someone else can worry? You just do your job.
There's two things. One thing was that the income was a guaranteed income, which is the biggest stress of being self-employed. And anyone who's in chat self-employed, there's a few people self-employed in chat. Kai, average British nerd. Who was the other one he messaged? Was it not Siege Roots? It was Brother Alan. There's a few people that are managers and that are self-employed. So the biggest ones, one of the biggest ones is the income and revenue, right? That's one of the biggest ones. It's a stress. But the other thing is as well is at that level of management, there's two parts to this. One, it was a daily monumental challenge, and you know me, I like to be challenged and stimulated. Is that the second part of it though and this sounds awful, but there's a swagger factor.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll explain what swagger factor is. Okay. Hey Liam, what do you do for a living? I run a YouTube channel. Oh, what do you do? What's your YouTube channel? I paint and well, I don't really paint. That's Jay. I play with toy soldiers for people that send me money, and they're like, right, and that's literally the response you get.
Yeah.
Right. That's literally the response. Now I have changed. I used to be like, I create video content, and I sounded like I was some fucking porn shark. So now I just tell people I run a YouTube channel. I play with toy soldiers. And I'm like, okay, cool. Right, that's one conversation. Conversation two, Liam, what do you do for a living? Oh, I run the biggest contract in the UK for Rolls-Royce Power Systems. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Swagger factor.
Yeah.
Right? I do kind of miss that as well.
I still enjoy
Despite the fact that I think this is a bigger achievement.
I still enjoy when we were brand new to each other. So I sort of popped into college. I've got a new boyfriend. Oh, cool. Was that him dropping you off to college? Yep, that's his car. Oh, Luce, what car's he got? A red one. Because I had no idea what the swagger factor is for teenage boys.
Well, we will, some point in the very near future, refer back to Jill's super chat. Won't we? Here it comes!
Luce, that's nice, dear Dempsey.
Yeah. Well, you were just so stressed out. You didn't need any stress on this end. So just very low demand, low stress.
In chat right now, we're going to go soon because we're over schedule. This has been an interesting conversation that's got fuck all to do with 40k as well. in chat now, I want you to just tell me what your job is. Not like in 5 words or in funny sentence or whatever. Just tell me what your job is, because I reckon we attract a significant amount of incredible human beings to our channel, which I love. So just tell me, what's your job right now? In chat, go. If you're happy to. So that you run your own media production company sounds a little better than YouTuber. I mean, I'm past the point of caring. The swagger factor is something that I miss, but I'm also, Fatboy, slightly past the point of caring what other people think anymore. It took a long time for me to get there.
I'm not there yet because
PLC engineer, automation, civil engineer, security guard, paramedic, principal designer and developer, blow. I build bridges. I'm an adult education teacher, complaints handler, costs lawyer. Fucking hell. I run an online shop that sells 40k decals. Oh, wow. Senior claims auditor, driving instructor, manager at Morrison's, carpenter handyman.
Which Morrison's?
Do you manage my local Morrison's, Stefan? Please. Freelance lighting engineer in film, TV, and live events. Fucking hell. Contracts manager. I fucking love a postie. Recruiter for music publisher. Service deli clerk. Administrator at microbiology lab. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Co-manager of gas station. Accountant. Self-employed window licker. Amazing. Warehouse worker trying to become an animator. Systems implementation consultant. Fucking hell. Look at you brainy bastards.
I know. I love our chat.
Structural inspector. Dolphin trainer. Fuck off, Dan. Are you ex-military or military by any chance? We used to do that, right? We used to go to I used to go out on the piss when we were single, early, young in the military. But we used to go out on the piss and be like, we would on the taxi in the way to Reading at Arborfield on the way we're into town, be like, right, team, what's the jobs? So and there was some fucking wonderful ones. The one that always sticks in my brain was one guy who used to tell the ladies in Reading that what he worked at Heathrow. Right? No, he worked at London Zoo, specifically with the penguins, and his job was picking up penguins. And when they were like, "What do you mean?" Well, what happens is a plane takes off from Heathrow. As it flies over the penguins, what happens is, right, is the penguins look up and they fall over backwards, and they're just there. So I have to go and pick all the penguins up.
So pick up a penguin.
Pick up a penguin, yeah, right? And she bought it. Ex-Remy, yes. What a fucking legend. Honestly, unbelievable. There was a couple of ones like that. Amazing. Anyway, we are 12 minutes over for a Talking Head stream. We'll go for a bit longer. Fuck it. It's normally a game night, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll do it till 9:30. Is that all right?
Yeah, not 11.
I feel like if we do it till 9:30, what we're doing then is we did extra on Tuesday, so we have an earlier one tonight. I say we. Well, we did actually do extra on Tuesday.
It's a very good stream you've built.
Was that there in these evenings out? Was what there? A purple turtle in Reading? Yeah, it was. Purple turtle existed. What a fucking shithole. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Well, Liam, you should know PLCs, having worked with Siemens. I mainly work on Alan Brady's and Texas Instruments PLCs. Oh, wow. I do know PLCs. One of the things I like about my job is I have the authority to refuse access to military personnel regardless of military rank. Sorry, Commander. You're not allowed on. Amazing. Power! I own two craft beer pubs in Manchester. We're all going to Dan's place. That sounds amazing.
I put the M's on M&M's. Do you ever get tempted to put a W? W and W. And then be like, whoever finds the W and W.
I'll just write Slim Shady on it.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to Dan's.
Oh, that's a great one, Kai. The bigger question is, what do all those people actually want to do?
That is an interesting question as well, actually.
I'm going to give it 10 seconds before someone says Space Cowboy.
I want to do... I don't want YouTube to be it.
I don't think it is it.
But I also don't want to stop doing it.
Yeah.
I would like to get to... This sounds like an awful thing to say, present company considered. I want to go back to it being stress-free. That's not to say that I want to do less of it, but I want to go back to it being stress-free, where I don't care if it makes money. I don't care if we hit 120 or 150 or whatever members. I don't care if we hit £100 super chat. I want to go back to it being completely stress-free. So I don't think YouTube's it, but I don't know what it is.
Thanks, Sam.
So at 37, I don't know what it is. And I think that's perfectly okay as well.
Yeah.
And when I was working at Rolls-Royce, I was like, here's what it is. It's senior management in a big company. And I got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I love this anymore. Because at that point, you make a lot of money for someone else to be rich.
Yeah.
Oh my God, John McCardle. That counts as 2 for him because he's Chapter Master Ballsack gifted 20, and that's John.
Okay.
So he's one off the hat trick. Thank you so much for upgrading to a Seer tier as a member, you fucking hero.
Don't SCs get their own ding?
They can do, yeah. Fuck it.
There you go. Oh, the dog's up.
John wins. Yeah, John wins. I'm 49. I still have no clue what I want to do when I grow up. I mean, the one thing I do know, absolutely, Mike the Rhino, is I don't want to grow up. I 100% don't want to grow up. It is winning the lottery. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the thing I wanted to do. I didn't realise it until recently.
Dinging bells?
No. Doing the whole housewife gig. Because I never could really pin down what career I wanted, what I wanted to do, which is why I think I sort of hovered around people jobs. So waitressing, barmaid, caring, people jobs. Low level, but essential.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. James was sort of deregistered from school. And then I think it was maybe about 6 months ago that I thought, actually, this is it. This is the gig.
Yeah.
About fucking time I supported Luce. That's why we are here.
Oh, Grumpage, thanks for the 10. It's for you, really, Luce. For you, really. I think that's a very wholesome moment. I feel like
Party on. It is my Friday and I did 10 yards of concrete today. Thanks for the content. Great to paint too. Cheers, friends.
Thank you so much, Wrath of Constantine, for becoming a member and for the super chat. You absolute hero. Enjoy your Friday and hopefully a long weekend, you bloody legend. Yeah, I think it's very wholesome when people find that moment. I don't think I'm far away. I know I want. So here's the thing. I know I like running business. I know I like running business, but I don't entirely know 100% what the end product looks like yet. So we're trying to get Hobby House up and running, and then but I think that's not it still. I want to run that business and get that up and running and working, but then I've got ideas as to other businesses already. So I think people call it entrepreneurial, some people call it ADHD, but I've got this idea for like another business or two that I want to get running as well. Some of them cost significant investment and they're a bit of a gamble, but I don't know, it's difficult. There's like I like running business. What I like doing is taking a business, building it, launching it, getting it off the ground. That's not what I want to do. I want to hand it over to someone who runs it, can make me a bit of passive income, and then I do the next one. That's what I want to do. But that's hard to do in this world in general.
What's that job called?
What job?
That your job is, I make a business, get it up and running, find a suitable person who can run the business, and it becomes a passive income, and then I start on the next
That's just
one.
being entrepreneurial, isn't it? That's essentially what that is. It's not.
So is that an entrepreneur?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I would consider an entrepreneur. As a chap might tell me otherwise. I had middle manager. Oh, gone. I wanted to be a motorsport engineer. Did it, and it was fun, but shit. Worked with Formula Ford and Proton rally cars, but had not worth killing yourself with the amount of hours. But that's a lot of hours, actually. Serial entrepreneurship. The process I enjoy, the end product for me is irrelevant. The process is 100% what I enjoy, yeah. Farts are funny. Says Escapade. He goes on to say, especially when the 4-year-old gasses himself out in the bath.
My kids are getting old enough that their farts aren't funny anymore.
They're always funny in Warhammer, right? Honestly, you remind me a bit of Bricky. Implements stuff and expands it with teams. Who's Bricky? don't know who Bricky is. My kids. Oh, you've read that one already. More do I still think parts of. They're always funny. Exactly. Definitely. If Joe is the next in line for the channel, he absolutely is not. Startup businessman. I don't know. I'd like to do I feel like I'd like to do consultancy work for management as well, but this is the problem because I didn't do any of those qualifications through to final. I don't have anything that qualifies me to consult people on management and business. I reckon I could go into a business. I genuinely believe this is the ego that sometimes exists. I genuinely believe I could go into businesses and talk to management there and make changes that are positive. 100%.
So you want to be the manager that just an hour ago we were all saying, hate that guy.
No.
Coming in here.
No, because I've had those people. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a better version of that guy. I want to be a useful version of that guy. Not a person that turns up and like, yeah, sack 4 people. You've made loads of money, haven't you? Job's a good one. Right?
Low-level jobs are real jobs. I used to wish for a white-collar job when I was blue-collar, and now I just daydream about going back.
Praise James. Thanks for the $10, dude. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Another YouTuber does 40k content but has life stories there too. Oh, really? Bricky is a US or Canada-based 40k knobber. I've not heard the name. I'll go hunting for it later. Now to half the chat now is just, could I do what for you, Steve? Could you do it for me, Liam? Please, Liam. Do what for you, mate? What do you want me to do for you?
Oh, Carl makes a good point. This is my problem. I have loads of experience and knowledge, but nothing on paper. So people bin my application. They're lost.
That's the thing.
Legitimizing skills you've picked up along the way without some kind of university degree is really hard.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's that one guy. I consult on businesses to get them to sale. That's a new business, however. That sounds good, though. Sounds like interesting. What are you saying is a business troubleshooter in demand, and frankly, I need one for my business. Email me, people. I'll do some consultancy work. You're running a business with your channel, better than zero experience on a CV. To be fair, Royal, I don't want to be a dickhead. My CV is strong.
I think mine is, you can fit it on the back of a stamp now.
My
CV.
I wrote out a big old CV, and then I was like, it's 7 pages. So I had to, because of all my roles and responsibilities, everything that I was doing, I was like, so how much of this is still relevant? So like 2 or 3 sections of my first few jobs are just fucking like summarized with a sentence. It's not relevant anymore. Because I've gone far higher than what that was. It's not relevant anymore for me to do that unless I'm literally applying for a job at that level, in which case you then tip the balance of your CV. So my CV now is heavy management focus, heavy project management focus, heavy budget focus, all that kind of stuff. If I wanted to go back on the tools, I'd have to go management focus, nothing, and then tool-based focus up again. And I'd have to. So what I think anyone who has a CV, especially if you've got a number of years of experience in different roles, it pays to have a couple of versions of the same CV. None of them are a lie, but they focus on different aspects.
Yeah.
So if I'm going for a management job, you can have the management CV. And if I'm going for an on-the-tools job, you can have the on-the-tools CV. You know, that sort of thing. I think that's important. Go into my work and talk to the managers. I can do that, Stephen. Are you a person who can sign that contract? My CV is a goddamn essay. That's my problem, Kai, yeah. Yours is probably bigger, though.
If I needed my CV now, my GCSEs, I've pretty much failed all of them. I had to resit English in college, and even then I scraped through. For me, the point is proven that you don't necessarily need your GCSEs. I already had a job when I was 14. So when my teachers were banging on about, you'll never get a job, my hand went up. Actually, sir, I don't think I need to be here anymore then, because I'm already earning. So I'd already cracked it of, well, you've said without these I won't get a job, but I already have a job. My foot's in the door now.
Yeah.
And I've been there long enough. My boss can vouch for me. Plus, I'm in a community that everybody knows each other, which pays off when you get to employment age. And then to go for different jobs with these GCSEs and still get the job, yes, it's low level.
That's true, Luce. It's why I have got senior management to put my team without degrees through part-time degrees as part of their training budget.
Experience is so much more important than certificates, in my opinion, but it's a shame that too many people don't look at Have you got these? If you got these GCSEs, who really gives a fuck?
Well, that's why I think are these actually for things like waitressing. Are you a nice person? Can you deal with memorising a specials board? Can you keep kids entertained at the table while mum and dad are talking about the menu? Are you able to do all of these things and juggle this sort of thing for 6 hours? Can you do that and still be pleasant at the end of your shift? Yes. Good, you're hired.
Colton, thank you so much for 5 gifted, you beautiful human being. What a hero. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Obviously, if you're going to be a rocket scientist, then you need your GCSEs, but...
Do you?
Well, yeah, you need to have maths and science.
Does having a GCSE certificate mean that you're better at maths than someone else?
I think so.
No. It means you can pass a test.
Do not give me a rocket science job. I will fuck it up.
No.
Biblically.
You not do a rocket science job. But does having a GCSE actually make a difference? GCSEs, any kind of certificate for that matter, degrees included, are essentially a piece of paper when you put your application form in that gives them a filter. It gives them a sieve where they can go, there is an assumed knowledge here.
Yeah.
So we now can progress to the next stage. Any job that requires that kind of stuff, do you know what they're probably going to do as part of the application process? Probably going to put you through an assessment. At which point your GCSE has then just become irrelevant.
Because I'm being assessed amongst
you're being assessed
other
anyway.
candidates.
You're being assessed.
Yeah.
You'll be doing a test. You will be doing a test. On my jobs, I had to do. I can't really call them, but I had to do testing, spatial awareness, reasoning, all that kind of stuff. I had to do testing. So there comes a point where the certificates are basically giving A, an assumed base knowledge, and B, an assumption that you are someone who's able to learn. That's what they're showing. And then the degree of certification often will showcase the degree of ability to learn. You've got a fucking master's degree. Okay, you're really able to dial in and learn something. You've got a master's degree. And it's a high graded master's degree. Right? You've just got a GCSE and never had anything else. Doesn't really show that you potentially have the desire to learn and do extra and do extra learning and better, because guess what? You have to do GCSEs.
Yeah.
But if you have a maths GCSE, right? You know what I'm like for maths. If I didn't have a certificate, would you then consider you're better at maths than I am?
I only know you're good at maths because I know you.
Right, exactly. So what's that? Certificate or experience?
Experience.
There we go. It's more important.
But the certificate did come up. What did you get in maths? I got this. I need your help.
But you see my point though, right? Is the certificate arguably is irrelevant. Also, there's a couple of occasions lately where you've gone, how do you do this? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Jesus, I did that when I was about 8.
Do you know where I've found that I'm better at you at maths? Is that I can say a fraction. I can be like, oh, babe, I can't. How do we do this? And then you show me. And if I say to you, right, can you show that to an 11-year-old? You'll go, no, I can't break it down. That's so then when I metabolize it
you
into
have to, yeah.
ickle bickle 11-year-old.
Luce is like, explain it to me, and I'll do my thing, and she's like. So I break it down to the point where I'm like, it feels like I'm talking to a rock, and then she's still like. So I'll break it down a bit further, and then she's like, right, okay. I'm like, do you want me to show? And she's like, fucking no. His head will explode. My turn. And then she'll break it down like 5 levels for the kids, right? That's how it works.
It feels like I'm talking to a rock.
What did you get in maths? A's. So I am fucking right. Experience is valuable. Yeah, experience is valuable. Although there comes a limit as well when someone's like, must have 25 years management experience in this degree. It's like, fuck off. Like, you can't just look at hiring only people that have got 25 years experience doing the exact job that you're asking for. That's impossible. I was refusing an electrician apprenticeship when I was finding what I wanted to do for a career simply because I picked up some advice mid-assessment too quickly. At 45, I can't learn shit anymore. Had to buy Velcro trainers for my management job because not so hard work. Amazing. I got A's in maths. What I did then is I went to college and did further maths, which in the UK at least, if you do further maths at college, it's essentially a foundation degree, but in your college years. So you do ASA2 in the first year, then you do your first year foundation degree in your second year at college. And then what I did, because I'm a fucking moron, I've told you this already, this is not a shock. What happened is I got like towards the end of college, and then it was like, you've been accepted, you've got your placement in the army, you've got your start date. Like, I don't need these qualifications anymore. This was the biggest. This should have been the learning moment, right? This should have been the point that I was like, this was a silly idea. So at that point, I was like, cool. I don't need to worry about that anymore. Beer, rugby, women. Fuck the exams, and didn't do half of them. Much to my mother's disappointment, I was like, I don't need them. I'm in. I've got my job. I've got my job. I'm going to do a full. My mind. I'm going to do a full 22-year career in the army. I'll have a full pension when I leave. Be fucking great. I'm sorted. I'm learning an aircraft trade. I don't need to worry about anything else. Joined the army. Did my basic training, went to Arborfield, which was the training establishment, and we had to do CF, Common Foundation, TF, Technical Foundation, and some other bits and pieces before you were then graded as to how clever you were, and depending what percentage you sat on, depending on what job you could go for. So if, for example, you're in the top 5%, you could go for any of the fucking technical jobs at all that you wanted. I was lucky enough that I sat in that top 5%. If you sat in the next 5%, you could do aircraft, but you couldn't do avionics. Avionics was electrical work on aircraft, but I wanted to bend spanners and hit things with hammers, so I did aircraft even though I could have done avionics. If next 10% was blah, blah, radars and whatever you, etc., right? And that's what they did, and they did that grading. Got to technical foundation, and it was all the math stuff that I'd done at further maths, and all that kind of physics math stuff. And I was like, I've done all this. And my instructor was like, what do you mean you've done all this? I was like, I've done all this. How have you done it all? I was like, I did it at college in further maths. He's like, oh, have you got a certificate? No. And he went, well, then you're going to have to do it, aren't you? Do the exam. Fuck. When I went back years later on my upgraders to become a supervisor, and I did my supervisor's course for 6 months, guess what? There's a maths section. Guess what? I'd done it all at college. I was like, I've fucking done all this. Guess what? Oh, have you got a certificate? You don't think it'd be on my record if I had one? Give me the fucking exam paper. You think I'd learn?
This is why I wonder if GCSEs are right intention, wrong time. Because really, because you picked them at 14, I think. What 14-year-old really knows what they're going to do?
When I did my GCSEs, they gave me a record of achievement, big presentation, went to my first job interview. They were so uninterested, they put their coffee mug on it. I had the same record of achievement. I had that as well. I feel like me and Kai can become best friends. Like he was talking earlier about how I like to just start new businesses and see them through. We could become best friends, Kai, I reckon. They asked me if I could find my way into a bag of quavers and became a recce mech. Sounds right. This is a great parenting story. 100% Lewin. How's it going, dude? How's it going? My brother got first lieutenant out of training for the army, then captain less than 6 months after training. Good story to imbue in your own kids. It is. My whole life is literally full of, for this little bit of extra effort, you'll get the certificate. And I'm always like, nah, I don't need it. I'm happy now.
James said to me a couple of years ago when he was really struggling with something, and I was like, well, you might go to a job interview because home ed kids can take GCSEs as young as 14. I think schooled kids can as well, but typically the impression I get is teachers don't want to pressure them because they learn typically a lot broader, so they don't want to pressure them too young. But home ed kids are eligible to sit GCSEs at 14, and they can go to college at 14 as well. So I was saying to him, it's so far away, like let's not even talk about it yet, because so much can happen in a year, never mind in the many years it would take for you to be 14. And I was saying, if you wanted to do a job that you need a qualification, they might ask for a GCSE. So if you feel confident in test environments, go for it. Why not? Because if you know the material, do the test, then you have the grade. And he said, well, you failed all of yours. And I said, well, the thing is, James, I married smart, and that's not a guarantee. So it was just sheer dumb luck that I married your dad, and I'm not an example to follow.
Yeah, the answer is, James, at the age of 18, be slim, attractive, and put on a miniskirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked for you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Kai says, you are my internet bestie. We seem to be quite similar. My missus has started putting your face over pictures of me in the house. You got to worry when she asks you to wear the mask, though, Kai. That's the problem, right? That's the problem. National Record of Achievement. Remember when schools pretended how they mattered? I remember that. Did you have one of those National Record of Achievement? Like it was a brown folder, I think, if I remember rightly.
No,
not in Coventry,
I got mine in an envelope.
I'm sure. Did you? Had to dust all the white powder off it first in fucking Coventry. When the Liam and Joe show is on, my daughter points to you and says, "Daddy." I'm a lawyer with GCSEs and no degree. Work funded my qualifications as I didn't know what I wanted to do until I got the job. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
love that. Vocational-based training is
Yeah.
fucking the way forward, in my opinion.
I wonder, could schools, because kids have to be in education, let's say if we were to like rework, here we go, if we were to rework education.
Is this part of our new? It's our manifesto now. That's what we're doing.
This is Leon for PM.
Leon for PM manifesto. Here we go. Luke's head of education. Go.
So when you're in your teens, don't sit the official exams.
Controversial.
Do your schooling, so your core subjects. Go out into the world and go and get a job, or go and join the army, or just go and have the babies that you want to have. And then when you're 25, then the government gives you like a birthday letter that says, congratulations on your 25th birthday. The government will fund 3 qualifications. You're 25 at this point. You've maybe traveled a bit. Maybe you're in a job and you write back and you say, I don't really need or want them yet. Can I delay them? Or you're in the army. You don't need or want them because the army's given you qualifications. Or you're currently in the midst of babies and potty training, so I don't have time or capacity for it, going to delay them. But you're there. You have 3 funded qualifications.
Well, you kind of do have that with student loans. You can get a student loan now.
But the pressure to put on kids of 17, 18, you got to go to uni. Oh my God.
Student loans makes me laugh as well.
They're still so young at 17, 18.
We're going to fund people to hopefully build a more educated nation of individuals that hopefully then strengthens the nation and makes it better and improves things, but we're going to fucking charge them for it.
Yeah.
Seems weird, that to me, but...
Isn't there science out there that says something like your brain isn't fully matured until you're like 25 anyway? So when you've got kids going to uni at 18 with the enormous pressure that it is and the debt...
Vocational training should be more about in the UK. It should, 100%. 100%. Anyway, basically, if you want to start new businesses, give me a shout. I'm into it. I want my finger in all the pies.
That's one of the manifestos anyway.
Yes.
Leon for PM.
Leon for PM.
I'm sure
you're behind it now.
I'm sure there's many reasons it can't work.
after watching the last 5 weeks worth of debates and stuff, now Lucy's finally going, actually, Leon for PM's probably a fucking good idea.
I would just like one of them to actually answer a question.
Impossible.
Just to answer it. Instead of dancing around it and then smack talking the other one, can you just answer the question you've been asked? And
student
stop
loans are a
wasting
tax, not a loan. You also only need to be 40% successful to get a degree. That's mad, isn't it? 40% successful. Uni should be free, but hard to get into. Everyone has a degree these days. Yeah, you can get a degree in fucking anything. Kai says, what do you think her screensaver is? Is it my penis? On like a third of her screen. I went to uni at 18, dropped out after 1 semester as it wasn't the right time for me. I'm about to finish my first year on the OU as I feel more prepared for it. Huzzah, well done, man. In other news, for reference, Liam, I have calculated my current Knights force at 4,000 and my full force when it's finished at 6.75 thousand. So any games are that or Necrons. We need to fucking hell. We need to book something else in. Student loans are bonkers and they've convinced students they are investing in themselves. Well, I know. Will do, Liam. Do you know much about web development? Although the sales marketing experience is what I need. I don't know much about web. I know minimal amount about web development, like really small. Sales marketing, I reckon I can sell sand to the Arabs.
Ice to the polar bears.
Ice to the polar bears. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Rain to the river.
P's get degrees due tomorrow, and it's not due date, it's a due date. Got me through uni. Fucking hell. 4K notes is a big battle, it is, yeah.
If I'd have gone to uni, I would have fucked it up. I know I would have. I struggle. So I'm a lucky fucker. With maths, numbers interest me. I don't know why. I think maths interests my brain because there's a logical process. You apply a process, you get a result. That sings to me. You apply a process, you get a result. I'm very happy with that. I like that. That works for me. That's how my mind works, right? For the majority of the other subjects, I did for reference, I did 15 GCSE exams. No, 14 GCSE exams. I've got A to C's in 13 of them.
I'm very lucky that I can read things, and 9 times out of 10 can almost perfectly regurgitate. Sometimes with a little bit that I miss or add, which normally in examination conditions as a kid was enough to get the mark, right? And even throughout my aircraft training, read a précis once, cool, give me the exam, passed. And that was an absolute gem because they used to give you multi-guess questions. So I was able to go, that one looks the most like the answer in the book, although I can't remember quite exactly, that's the one that looks most like it, tick it, yeah, I've got it right. Hence I have that trophy. Hence I've got the Vector Aerospace trophy for high percentage of pass rate on the exams. That's how I got that trophy. So I'm very lucky in that regards. In terms of sitting down and learning things though, like just reading text or reading kind of theory and then being able to digest that and regurgitate it on paper in like an essay form, it is not my strong point.
Yeah.
I hate it. I would hate uni. Things like assignments and assessments, I'd fucking hate that. Give me the thing and let me do it with my hands and learn.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. So when I went and did my aircraft training, we did a bunch of theory, which was essentially digest précis, do multi-guess questions. The way my eidetic memory works, fine, cool, did all that, passed all that. And then it was like, get on the tools and start learning how to use these things. Now I'm happy. Now I'm all about this life. And that's how I learned best.
My degree is beardy biker wrangling. How to marry smart.
That's a degree. Because Luton said, I think the bigger question is, what degree would Luce have chosen?
I definitely had this conversation with my dad, and at the time, everything was to be a lawyer or some kind of psychologist or something that just seemed so far-fetched for me that I honestly thought uni was for the already clever people. Because everything on sale, if you like, just seemed so...
You can get a degree in the Beckhams, Luce, for fuck's sake.
But they weren't the ones that anyone was talking about. Whenever people spoke to me about, you're going to go to uni, there was already such an expectation in that question of what are you not going to waste your time learning and getting qualified in? And I think there was always, uni's not for me, that it's for other people, it's not for me.
I also would have almost definitely just pissed it all up the wall and got, honestly, I would have just got fucking... shit-faced, and that would have been it, and ended up with STDs and all sorts.
I don't think I would have done well in dormitories. I didn't know the anxiety, or that's what it's called as a teenager. Then I think living in a building with strangers who were all playing loud music and drinking all the time, it wouldn't have been. Interestingly
though as well, I think most of the wildly successful people that I know don't have degrees.
Yeah.
Or people say things like, Kai, I didn't turn up for most of my A-levels, I failed miserably. Most super clever people that I know, super successful people that I know, didn't do their A-levels, or they learned, they went and learned their trade. Learned what, hands-on learning, muscle memory, that kind of thing. I think Carl said muscle memory, that's why I loved the army, all hands-on and muscle memory. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why didn't my careers advisor at school just say bank manager, earn loads of shit and retire? Yeah. Yeah. Why did they say, be a shit fucking prime minister for 2 weeks and you'll get a lifelong salary of 100 grand?
I don't know if I know anyone that's doing the job for the degree they got when they were 18. I think everybody is, if they've found what they're good at, but it's not the degree they got at uni.
Degrees are I agree with what Carl said earlier. Degrees should be free, but it should be harder to get into university. 100%.
Oh, okay. Like a
100%.
What's it called when you sit a test for a posh school? Entrance.
Yeah,
it's
essentially,
like an entrance test.
So I think degrees are important if we're talking perhaps lawyers or schools of medicine, etc. Surgeons in my view. But I don't think degrees are like you needed for a while. If you wanted to join the police force here in the UK, you needed a degree. What for? Why? Why do you need a degree to be a police officer? Doesn't make any sense. Makes zero sense at all.
Yeah.
I learnt my trade through going to uni. That's interesting. I think how to be successful is learn a thing you are passionate about, join something related to that at entry level, and eventually start your own business. That's reasonable advice, to be fair, Luton. Thing is, it's all horseshit. I have no degree, 5 GCSEs, 1 A-level, 1,000 certificates post-school, just sold a business for 500k. All right, fucking show off. Does anyone want to buy a YouTube channel for $500,000? Actually, no. I don't want to sell it for that much. More. I have the option to go into my degree with my job. Security guard with digital forensic degree. Works nicely. That sounds fucking cool. You need a degree to be a nurse now, Liam. You need a degree for everything. Isn't it mad? Somehow, nowadays, we're in a place in this country where you need a degree and 10 years experience to do anything.
Hasn't it devalued it? The amount of people that have degrees have now devalued the degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you need a degree and 10 years experience. You can't get 10 years experience if you've just got the degree.
Because you've spent the years getting the degree.
But not even that. Like, I've got the degree now. I'm going to do the job. Oh, you need 10 years experience. How? How do I get that?
Yeah.
How do I now get that? Unless you give me the fucking job, how do I get it?
Somebody commented that earlier on. I forgot to mention it. But I was nodding along, reading it, thinking, yep, it's that vicious circle.
I have 0 qualifications, but I run rings around the qualified people in my field. The thing is, Dave, right? I know roughly loosely what your job is. The thing is, for a lot of people in positions like yours and positions like I had in the past, I think, here we go. Liam's hot take, right? I think that the biggest asset to anybody in any position ever, the most important qualification anyone can have, but most people don't have any of it at all, is just fucking common sense.
I love that saying because
Common sense isn't common.
That mostly comes trickling down the parental hierarchy of, why is it I have no common sense, parent?
Buckshot, thank you for 5 gifted, you fucking hero. Sorry, let's carry on.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Short, sweet, and sarcastic.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it. Like, common sense, life experience, manners, politeness, people skills is things that you learn as a children. A lot of you don't necessarily learn at school. You do learn some of it at school. You learn it in social interactions, obviously, but late tax paid. Uncommon sense. That's what it should be called. You know, you're 100% right. I didn't want to work on cars anymore, so I taught myself design and dev. No degree, been working in the field for 25 years. Amazing, James. Incredible. That's the problem my good friend has. He just finished 5 years of school for IT comp science, but can't find a job because everyone wants experience, so he's back to being a finishing carpenter. Oh my God. If I was hiring a person in that role, right, and a person applied to that position, and I'd ask for 10 years experience, okay, or whatever, and the person actually, I wouldn't ask for 10 years experience, by the way, chat, for reference, and the reason why I wouldn't ask for 10 years experience in the first instance is because simply I don't want to put anyone off from applying. I want people to apply. I want to cast a wide net, right? That's the thing that I want. That being said, not all in capitals. That being said, if someone applied to the role who had done the degree and was looking to get started in the field, and they've done the degree in that qualification, as an employer, I think I'd take the punt. Because he's done the degree, so he's got that skill set, not skill set, he's got that assumed knowledge. He's obviously dedicated. Do I think he's going to be the best person in that field immediately? 100% no. Would I be able to mold him into exactly what we want as a business? You know what happens when you get a person in with 10 years experience? Oh, we didn't do it that way. And that fucks me off. Or we do it this way. And I don't mind people going, we didn't do it this way for these reasons, and me going, huh, okay, your business maybe did it slightly better. Let's look at adapting. But I also don't like people that just, but I don't do it that way because that's not how I do it. Yeah, but why? Is there any benefit? No, it's just I do it this way.
I was friends with the student experience team in uni. They had employers looking for 2-1s students rather than firsts, as they were more rounded people.
That's interesting.
Well, I don't understand the ratio.
So a 1s is a first.
Which is like A star?
Like, it's like A star, yeah.
Okay.
At the best. 2-1 is like, I guess, like an A, maybe a B, kind of in our old money. But then A stars and Bs don't exist anymore in GCSEs.
That's mad. Like, that is mad. Because you didn't get a first, they're breaking their hearts over it. I would still be, you went to uni and you didn't spend the whole time drunk. This is amazing.
Wee Man, thank you for 5 more gifted. Tony Winnick, thank you for 10 more gifted. You know what that means, chat? You've got to put this in chat for a t-shirt giveaway. Pin. There you go. It's another t-shirt giveaway. Another Talking Head stream. Another t-shirt giveaway. You hit those member numbers, we give away t-shirts. I'm building the new one tomorrow. I prefer someone with experience. Who the fuck trusts a newbie with their life? Working 1 kilometer underground is fucking dangerous. But also, people have to learn. Otherwise, you can't have anyone with experience because no one's been able to learn. And this is the age-old problem in business in general, right? Mm-hmm. The newbie versus the experience. You need both. You need to bring newbies in and put them with people with experience. That's what you have to do.
It's new sheets night. Can you help me make the beds?
Are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me this now at 10 to 10?
I've just remembered.
It's cowboy time.
10 to 10 to 10, 10, 10.
Exactly. You remembered. Did these come in 4XL? Yes, I believe they do. I think we got up to 5XL, James. I think.
I'm so glad it wasn't as hot today as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
That was an unacceptable temperature.
Oh, Escapade's put the brackets in. First equals 70% upwards. 2-1 equals 60 to 69%. 2-2 equals 50 to 59%. Third equals 40 to 49%. So you can get a 40% pass mark and have a degree.
Okay.
We have mentorship programs and newbie works with the experienced person. 100% Leon, absolutely. That's the way to do it, right? 100% that's the way to do it. Luce will like this story. My 2-year-old daughter is practicing nursing already. If she sees a scratch on me, she says, "Oh dear," and puts a sticker over it and then pats my head saying, "There we go." You have a patable head, Lutin.
Oh, I love her.
I'd pat your head.
My favourite resident used to tell me to fuck off every time I went in his room in the morning. And I go, "Righto, I'll come back with toast."
Righto!
Yeah.
Pip pip.
Because the truth of the matter is...
Right, chat.
You need to get up because you have medication.
I'm going to give you now a 4-minute warning for me right now. So at my time as I'm looking at it, 21:55, in 4 minutes time I'm going to draw the giveaway and then I'm going to wrap this up and go. I was going to finish at 9:30, but it's been a good chat. This is the problem with this channel. Sometimes we don't talk about anything 40k whatsoever. I apologise. I'm sorry. I think it's been a really good discussion though. I really enjoy this. Like, people have said to Lucy and I in the past, you could do like a whole podcast that's just not 40k. I'm like, yeah, but no one would tune in because what we would be doing is we put a generic podcast in a fucking sea of generic podcasts. We have a captive audience, which is probably the only reason why it works. But thank you for being that captive audience. You are fucking amazing. You incredible human being. Flying Muttley came out of uni with a 3rd, probably more than I actually deserved. William Payne, thank you for becoming a Skull tier member. Do we get a loose fact? It's not a loose fact night. Do they get a loose fact?
I did learn a fact today with James.
So you're going to give them a fact?
Yeah.
Confident. Sounds confident.
It's not from the book.
Yeah. You should do that. I shouldn't do that. That is how it works. You put generic podcast out in a sea of generic podcasts and no one fucking listens to it. Great chat tonight, hence donation. Really good back and forth. Thanks, Grumpage. Love you. Anyway. Should AdMech have better access to command points? Yes. 100%. Absolutely. Or we should change the system for everybody else. Anyway. 2 minutes. We'll do the t-shirt giveaway. In the meantime, there's no super chats to get through. We should do the bonus fact. Bonus fact, not boner facts, by the way. I know what you lot are like. Are you ready? Okay, so you keep looking out the door.
Yeah. There's children.
2 of them?
Yeah.
Both ours?
Yeah.
Oh.
They followed me home. I'm sorry.
Did they? We should have stopped dropping the sweets on the floor. Anyway, are we ready for a bonus? Oh. I was like, there's no super chats. We can do the facts straight away. And then Bull comes in. Wildcard loose fact. Hot damn, this night is just getting better and better. Best streams. I love Talking Head streams. Sometimes, there's a little part of my brain that's like, why did I go into doing game streams? I'd have been better off just doing Talking Head streams. I wouldn't have had to pay for a studio. I wouldn't have had to spend all that money building a studio. I wouldn't have had to fucking buy all the armies. There's so many things I wouldn't have to pay for if I didn't have to do games. Why did I start doing games? It's a silly idea. I could just do this 5 nights a week and love it. All that extra effort we put in, only for people to go and watch the games and normally moan. That bearded guy,
Random is the best shows.
Thanks, Bull. That bearded guy doesn't know his rules. Oh. Anyway. They're back at the door again. Just throw things at them.
No.
Sharp things. Feel bad for not being able to donate. I'm only a poor, humble builder. Not none of this fancy careers.
Come sit next to me, James. I don't have a fancy career.
You've got
either.
a green name and you're in chat, mate. You're a fucking hero. You've been happy tonight, Liam. The pleasure has been all mine. I'm in a very good mood lately. I have become wildly impatient with people, and it's put me in a better mood. It's put me in a better mood. Like, being impatient with people, especially when they're fucking giant douchebags, has put me in a better mood. It's made me happier. Like a weight has been lifted, because now I don't put up with dickheads. And it's made it better. We need to change every now and again. I told my partner about the vanilla beaver fact. She immediately put on a fedora, grabbed a suitcase and left. Haven't seen her since, says James. I love the fact that you've added the put on a fedora first. Well, the funny thing is as well, chat, is there's going to be another random one tomorrow night because it's 40k after dark, which is never 40k, which is the irony. So we've got 2 nights of random shit. Funsies. And then we get our weekend away. Yeah, no children's.
I think I've got the outfit now.
The Bruni has won himself a t-shirt. Look at that.
Delay.
Just in time. Get yourself in Discord. Message me personally at some point next week. I've got a bunch of unread messages in Discord at some point next week. We'll get you your t-shirt sorted. I need to know the t-shirt that you want, the size that you want, the colour that you prefer, and your address, including postal or zip code, so that I can ship the t-shirt directly to you. Pretty please. Congratulations to Bruni, you amazing human being. I would suggest that cutting sugar and looking after yourself is why you're in a better mood, pal. I know it is. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of things that have happened recently. Cutting sugar, cutting caffeine, getting fitter. The eye is still mostly an A at the moment, but we're getting there.
The eye is still mostly an A?
Yeah, it's still mostly fat instead of fit right now, but we're getting fitter.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Okay. So that's how you get hold of me. Anyway, bonus Luke fact.
Pterodactyls are born already knowing how to fly because unlike other birds, they have no parental care.
How do you just know how to fly?
I know. Because the whole branching thing that birds do, pterodactyls, they don't have.
How do we know they had
care.
no parental care?
Obviously, there's a time traveller that nobody's admitting to.
Did someone, before they got in their textbook, right, watch Jurassic Park? Like, yeah, probably that.
Done. That's a documentary,
Probably
not
that.
a film.
Probably that.
Documentary.
I don't know. I don't know if I believe that. Because how do you prove they had no parental care? It's a fucking prehistoric era. There was no cameras. I'm calling false. I'm calling false. You're becoming...
If it is true, it's amazing because birds do the whole they won't leave the nest, then they do the branching thing, and then the parents kind of stop feeding them to encourage them to go and get their own dinner. So pterodactyls being born already knowing how to fly so that they can at least fly away from a predator. It's a survival thing.
You're becoming one of them? What do you mean, average British nerd? Loose like a wizard's sleeve. I think it's his nonsense. I think someone's made that fact up. I think we can assume, though, that the majority of facts about dinosaurs are probably just made up.
Do we have a paleontologist in here at all?
Made up. We weren't around.
Your whole degree and career is made up.
This feels like a Time Team series of Small Wolves kind of fact. Yeah, I know, yeah. For that fact to fact, pterodactyls must currently exist. We have them at work. Bloody seagulls. Loose, no proof. Exactly, no proof. 100%. Right, anyway. You people have been phenomenal tonight yet again. You're amazing. I'm very, very sorry we didn't have the game. The internet, we have a 48-hour SLA, service level agreement, which means our internet will be fixed. They've said it normally is resolved within 12 hours. Right? Any issues are normally resolved within 12 hours, but they have to put 40 hours in the contract because reasons in UK. So by tomorrow, the studio should be fixed, which means by Tuesday next week, we should be fine to do Adeptus Sororitas versus Astra Militarum for you beautiful people at 7:30, which will be happening on Tuesday, 7:30. Me and Joe, Kyle on the deck. Okay? So it's going to happen. It's just going to happen a few days later than we expected. But thank you so much for coming and hang out with us tonight. Tomorrow night at 8:30, 40k after dark. More of the same, but I'll drink mead instead. And then we get our lovely weekend away. We can just drift off into the sunset and maybe never come home. No, we have to come home.
I'd miss the dog.
I like my bikes. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for all the donations, you wonderful human beings. Thank you for all the gifted memberships. You people are fucking insane. Thank you so much, especially you, Star Pilot, you beautiful human. Thank you so much for everything, chat. You're amazing. You've absolutely fucking smashed it this week, and I can't thank you enough. You're amazing human beings. I look forward to tomorrow evening at 8:30. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.